A little extra brass bonanza for you on a positive Friday. How are you? The Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. Hope you are having an awesome Friday. You're going to get some time off and you can thank the Winnipeg Jets, because had the Jets the Dallas Stars won last night, the Edmonton Oilers would be on a plane to Dallas today, and they would have been playing tomorrow. I know that sounds like a real quick turnaround, but that was that's part of the TV deal. TV pays huge money for the rights. Sportsnet in Canada, ESPN, of course, in the States. Obviously, TNT has some of it. And there are some agreements in place with TV. And one of them was to ensure that you would have a Saturday game. And so had Winnipeg lost, Edmonton and Dallas would have been that Saturday game. But now you got a Saturday game. The Jets and the Stars, Game 6 tomorrow night. And at this point, do you root for a Game 7? It was interesting. Chris Knobloch today, outlined how, his team hasn't been great with longer layoffs. So, you know what? They kind of want to get going. So I look at the schedule, and as we mentioned yesterday in the show, if Dallas wins on Saturday, I think there's a good chance the series could start on Tuesday, because there is a Katy Perry at the American Airlines Center. I'm pretty sure that Katy Perry is playing there. Yes, next Wednesday. So they ain't moving Katy Perry. So she's a pretty big deal. So she's there. So I could see it being Tuesday if it goes to Game 6, and then probably Thursday in Dallas. Now, Winnipeg, I looked at their facility schedules. If they win, they would play games Monday night. And then we've seen lots of teams, you play Game 7, you're playing 2 days later. So they would be at home. They wouldn't have any travel. It could start Wednesday. If it's Winnipeg, we'll see. But if it's Dallas, I think there's a really good chance. Just when you look at arena availability, you lose Saturday. I don't think they'd rush to play the Monday, especially because you're going to have to take 2 days off anyway. Why wouldn't you just give them an extra day beforehand so you play Tuesday, Thursday? And then you got Saturday, Game 3 in Edmonton. Oh, now, that's not a guarantee, but I'm just saying if they win in 6. Now, if it goes 7, a little bit different. Game 7, and if it's Dallas wins, then it would be a Thursday, Saturday, most likely in Dallas. And the Jets probably, I think, a Thursday, Saturday as well. You got an all-Canadian matchup. I'm pretty sure Sportsnet is going to want an all-Canadian matchup on Saturday night. So the Oilers, we will hear from Chris Knobloch today. Lots of comments from we might even play a lot of it just in succession. I thought it was a pretty good press conference today from Chris Knobloch. So there's a few questions maybe we'll leave out just because a little repetitive, but there's quite a few other ones I thought we'll just kind of play it in its entirety. I'll talk to Con and see when that happens. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. How you can get a hold of us in our inbox. Also, today is your last chance to qualify for Here Comes the Sun, a $15,000 turnkey solar system for your home. That means everything's going to work, baby. They set up everything. It's unreal. You need to be a homeowner. You need to reside in Edmonton or 50K outside of it, and have shingles newer than 12 years. So away you go. So we got Rod Peterson joining us. We'll talk some Florida Panthers. So I have a question for you. I put it up on Twitter, and maybe we'll use it as our poll on our YouTube page. What do you think happens? Florida wins Game 6, series over. Florida loses Game 6, but wins Game 7, or Toronto wins both. Because it would be the ultimate Maple Leafs thing to come back and win Game 6 and then lose Game 7. Just when you give your fans a little bit of hope, you got Game 7 at home, and then they lose again. That would be painful. I think right now, more Leaf fans are probably expecting them to lose tonight based on how they played the last 2 games. But it will be interesting to see. And then we got Game 6 Dallas. Hey, the Jets, They looked pretty good last night. Another shutout from Connor Halley, although he wasn't tested that much. He was solid. He was solid for sure. I don't think he was great, but he was solid. He didn't need to be great. So that's good. And we'll see what happens. Are you rooting for a longer series? I know the Oilers, they don't love rest, but ultimately it could be a big benefactor for them. And, Ekholm and Pickard are getting texts already. They're not going to be ready to start the series. I said that yesterday. Got confirmation today from the head coach. Won't be ready to start the series. So it's Stu Skinner's net for now, and I see no reason why that won't continue. And Matthias Ekholm, maybe mid to later on in the series. We shall see. Also, today, hey, you know what? If you're a sports fan, you are going to get a Game 7 guaranteed this weekend in the association. Sunday afternoon, 1:30 Edmonton time. It is Game 7, Denver, OKC. Meanwhile, Boston, without Jason Tatum, they're still trying to keep their hopes alive. They won Game 5 at home. Now they got to go into the Big Apple and defeat the Knicks. And that, of course, is going tonight at 6 o'clock Edmonton time. So we'll see. But I love Game 7, man. I don't care what sport it is. Dial me up, inject it into my veins. I'm all over it. I love Game 7s. They are fantastic. Fantastic. Now we're trying to get a lawyer on because now I know this is a very public case, but the EM that's she's going by in her court case against the 5 players from the 2018 World Junior team, and for the second time, they did it once. They got a new jury, and now they've excused the jury again, and now it's going to be a judge only case. And what's interesting, I think at some point, and not just this case alone, but because it's a sport case, you can't ignore it. And I know a lot of people don't ever want to talk about rape or sexual abuse or any of that stuff, pedophiles, because it's ugly. It's extremely ugly. But unfortunately, it's prevalent. And in a lot of cases, when you look at child learning pedophilia, it's getting worse, not better. It's getting worse. And, sexual abuse is still at massively high levels. We have to have at least the open conversation to what can we do to make it change? Because it's not improving. It's not. Ask the victims, right? And there's lots of victims who never even go to court. Like, I can't believe the strength of this young woman to sit in there for 9 days. 9 days. She had to take the stand. 9. She's the victim. 9 days. For an event that lasted what? How many hours? 6, 5, 9 days? You got to go through each hour for a day at a time? Like, really? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It seems like at times I feel our court system, when it comes to sexual abuse and rape, is set up to fail the victims. And I know people say, well, Gregor, what about the false accusers? Well, you know what? I love that people bring that up. Because you know what the stats will suggest about that? It's 2%, right? 2 to 4, depending on who you talk to. But more people are focused on that 2 to 4% than the 96 to 98% of the people getting raped. I don't understand it. Like, it's terrible math. Like, we do math in sports. Think about that. Would that be good? Hey, you know what? Geez, I'm more concerned about the few mistakes than all the great plays. Doesn't make any sense to me at all. So I just think when I see this case and how it's publicized, and I do think, you know what? You have to have conversations. I do get a little annoyed sometimes when I hear people say, oh, it's hockey culture. No, it's society's culture. Hockey's part of society. I played hockey. I can tell you, never once was in any remote situation that said, hey, let's degrade women. Never once. Right? Somebody else might have been in their hockey journey. Okay. But sadly, I've seen it more prevalent in society. And so now, if hockey has to be the catalyst to change it, then I'm all for it. Because it has to change. If you're listening, and because the majority, not all, like, there's lots of young boys who are victims. It's not talked about. Young men now who have to grow up with that trauma, and it's awful. But we can't ignore it anymore. Like, people want to talk about BS stuff like separation. Let's talk about real issues that impact everybody in society. That would be nice. It's just a thought. And it does inject into sports because there's some horrific sports cases that it's involved, right? So if you're a sports fan, you should also be probably a human life fan. And sometimes those things cross over. And we need to be aware of it and talk about it. And it's uncomfortable. I understand that. It's very uncomfortable. I sat in at Little Warriors luncheon last week, and I can tell you, I was utterly inspired and amazed by the strength of the Smith family talking about their young daughter who was kidnapped and raped, and it was awful, by luring online. And to a gentleman who outlined his story of being abused at the age of 9 when he was raped. And they didn't sugarcoat it. And they spoke openly about it. And I firmly believe the majority of people want to see a reduction in those things in society. So if we want to see a reduction, we have to talk about it. And the EM case, I'll be fascinated to see how it plays out and what comes from this. And because this is just one case. Just one. But 9 days seemed, I don't know, a little bit of overkill at that point. Maybe I'm wrong. But because if you say, well, that's their right, sure. But is it possible? I'm just asking the question. Is it possible that our system is not supporting the victims and the survivors of sexual abuse as well as it is the perpetrators? Just a question. Because the stats would suggest it's failing more of the victims and survivors than it's failing the perpetrators. That's all. A few other things in the sporty world today on the show. As I mentioned, Rod Peterson will be by, Lori-Anne Muenzer. We got some fantastic topic today with Lori-Anne. We'll talk a little bit about Stuart Skinner, but also something that maybe you haven't heard about. Like, there's an emotional high that comes from athletics. And, how do you maintain it? And how do you avoid crashing? So we'll talk to Lori-Anne about that. We got the 2-minute warning with Tater. Jeff Merrick will be by. Craig Button, Spec, LT, Wanye Gretzk. So it is a busy, busy Friday. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Lots of hey, Greggs, did you happen to watch the NBA game last night? Are you concerned about OKC? Well, hey, that's the team. I'm I'm a big fan of OKC. I love the Canadians on there, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Lou Dort. And, I give Denver a lot of credit, man. I give the Nuggets a lot of credit. Like, these are two really good teams. I didn't expect it to be easy. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had another, 30 points and 3 rebounds, 6 assists. He played really well, right? Shot, 50% from free throw line, 68% from the floor. I'm kind of like, get him the ball more. At times I was like, why isn't he shooting more? Because the guy was shooting lights out. So that was my first thing from last night that I was, looking at. Jokic had a solid game. Christian Braun played great last night. If that guy's throwing down 23 points on a regular basis, you're pretty happy, right? Jamal Murray obviously is very good. So OKC at home is a different beast, but it's game 7 now, and anything can happen in a one-gamer. But will I be watching that on Sunday afternoon? Damn straight. Because I don't think there's going to be NHL hockey on Sunday. If there is, it'll be at night. I don't think the Leafs-Florida game, if the Leafs win, is going to happen in the afternoon. Actually, I know that. It's going to happen. It's 7:30 at night. 5:30 our time, 7:30 Eastern. Also, the Hurricanes punched their ticket. Was anybody surprised? I don't think so. The way the first 4 games of that series went, the Hurricanes, they were just the better team in that series. They really never seemed to be in any sort of harm in that series at all. And it was close, right? It's a 1-1 game. Washington had the goal overturned. It was clearly offside. And then Svechnikov got the game winner with 2 minutes left. So a crushing loss for Washington. And I really like Carberry's post-game comments that, hey, we learned from this. We had a really good year, and we got to get better next year. I think Alex Ovechkin's age showed up in the playoffs. He wasn't much of a factor. And so we'll see Washington. There's a few other guys for the Capitals that I think would like to be better. I do think the Caps, if if you gave them some true serum, they're going to want to add a little speed to their lineup. No doubt about it. And now they'll wait and see. Are they going to play the Panthers or the Maple Leafs? Because we'll find out tonight. And it's kind of like a train wreck, isn't it? A little bit. When you're like, I don't really care about the Leafs, but God, I might watch them. I might want to see what happens. And I know some of you, if the Leafs lose, you just want to see the meltdown online. Although, should there even be a meltdown? Like, at some point, does it become easier for heartbreak if you've had it all the time? I don't know. Right? Like Oilers fans, you became immune almost to the decade of darkness near the end. But you always had glimpses like, oh, you won a lottery. Oh, then you got McDavid, right? Like you had a few. Nugent Hopkins, Sam Gagner, 8-point night. But man, you're the Maple Leafs, like in the playoffs. And we're just talking a playoff from year to year to year to year. Like you won a round, okay, and then you got spanked in the second round. Like, does Austin Matthews know he's allowed to score in the second round? I'm not sure, but it is something that that has to happen. So, we shall see. And who knows? But wouldn't it be the most Maple Leaf thing ever to win tonight and lose at home in Game 7? That might just be the epitome of the last decade for the Maple Leafs. For their fans, I kind of hope not. Because, you know what? I'll be honest. I would love to see an Edmonton-Toronto final. It'd be great theater. Not sure it's happened, but I'd like to see it. Quick break. We'll come back. We'll go out to Florida. RP will join us next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features, including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles, they have a model to fit every need, all powered by legendary Kubota diesel engines. These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact equipment. Visit them today and see why they're the name you can trust for power and precision.
Do it. Your vehicle is a big investment. Protect it at Hughes Car Wash. We use only clean, fresh water and the highest quality car wash soap. Hughes Car Wash, the car wash pros.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
This is a slam dunk. Dive into Edmonton's vibrant basketball scene with exclusive interviews and expert analysis. I'm Paul Sir, and I host The Basketball Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440.
I take possession of my commercial space in 3 months. I need lighting. I need a fire alarm. I need data. I need a generator. I need panels.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Projects team reporting. We design, build, and construct all the electrical systems for your projects. Need everything to work right? Get the Action Electrical project team on your site.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
When you get into a new Tundra, you might suddenly find yourself towing a vintage wooden boat to the lake. Not because you know anything about boats, or would, but because you know you can. All that's left to do is drive it home. Get in and go right now at Toyota, where you can lease a 2025 Tundra 4x4 double cab SR5 from $154 weekly for 60 months at 5.19% with $6,699 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages, the ultimate destination for everything garage, storage solutions, cabinets, vehicle hoists, accessories, and even Traeger grills. Visit our massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th Ave or online at garagesuperstore.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday continues on. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Of course, sports1440.ca. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. It's lots going on, man. Busy time in the world of sports. Of course, we got NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, perfect. Golf, PGA Championship. You got CFL training camps underway. Man, I love it. Love it. PWHL playoffs are ongoing as well. You got also we're getting closer to Memorial Cup too. How about Medicine Hat? They are good, baby. Real good. Let's go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. Now all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price starting at just $1 plus tax. Great tasting coffee every day. Must be McCafe. As we go out to, I don't know if he's poolside or not, but Rod Peterson joins us. RP, how is Florida, my man? I think we got you muted, RP. So we'll see if did you mute yourself? That's a classic.
Sorry, buddy.
There you go.
Yeah, no kidding. If you got me 10 minutes ago, I would have been poolside, but we're on our way to the game. My friends Brent and Bree. Actually, we're stopping at Earl's on the way, Jason. You'd be very impressed by that.
There's an Earl's in Florida?
On Las Olas Boulevard, downtown. Yes, they're pumped, guys, for Earl's. So, yeah, I already know what I'm going to have.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was always more of a Joey's than an Earl's guy, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Don't mind Earl's. Now, the Florida Panthers, RP, back-to-back shutouts, similar to the Edmonton Oilers. You got the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I don't know, as you're driving, have you seen any milk cartons? Any of the Leafs stars on it?
No, but I know what you're talking about. And it's funny because I heard Chris Pronger the other day on NHL radio say, well, Austin Matthews hasn't played bad. I'm like, well, he's paid to score, period. And I think there's a stat that leads the Stanley Cup playoffs in missed nets. Yeah. He's getting his chances and stuff. But listen, the way Bob was in games 1 and 2, I didn't think he'd have 2 stinkers. He wasn't going to have 3. So he's gone into Bob mode, and I think they win tonight. I'd be shocked if those Leaf guys show up now. Guess we're going to see what they're made of.
Yeah, well, it would be so surprising, honestly, because it's not just this series. It's like 8 years of being unable to really elevate their game at the most important time of the year. Now, I'm watching that series, and Florida's playing great. They're you know what, they being the better team. Kachuk's obviously still hurt, right? Like, he's not 100%.
Well, that's what everybody's saying, but I don't know what the injury is. I mean, let's be honest. I know you all hate him in Edmonton. He's not the greatest skater, so if he's like lumbering around on the ice, is that different from normal? And if it's an upper body injury, I don't know what the injury was sustained in the Four Nations face-off. I don't even know what it is. But he's not been himself. But you know what? They breezed through Tampa. They couldn't wrap up Toronto tonight in Game 6. So if that gives him more time to get healthy, great. No, he hasn't had a great playoff, though. No.
Now, how does Marchand fit in your eyes?
Really good. I thought he was slow getting going in the Tampa series. but he's been as advertised this series. Scored the game winner in game 3, as you know.
Yeah.
He's led a physical presence. You watch tonight, first period, Marchand will be banging bodies more than anybody else in the Leaf zone. That's what he's doing.
The Panthers, like, it's funny, like, they're a championship team. They're really good. And, I wouldn't be shocked if we had a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup final at this point. I wouldn't be surprised by it at all. But the Panthers are doing it with, pretty significant blue line. Montour and Oliver Ekman-Larsson were two major pieces, Rod, and they didn't really ever totally replace them, but they haven't really seemed to miss a beat without them.
Well, it was a week before the trade deadline they got Seth Jones. And a couple days after the Seth Jones trade, the Ekblad suspension came down.
Yeah.
Right, which led a lot of people to wonder, did the Panthers know that was coming? I'd like to think that they didn't. But Seth Jones has been amazing. And then Ekblad had a 20-game rest.
Huh.
He's probably been the best Panther in this series, I think. And then guys that aren't big names, but like Gustav Forsling is a beast.
Oh, dude, he's a great player.
Right? He doesn't get any pub. Dmitry Kulikov has played quite well. And Nico Mikkola is eating people alive. I don't know what's happened to this guy in the last 2 months. So, no, they're not household names. They're not. The question is, though, if it's a replay of last year's Stanley Cup final, are the Oilers better than last year, and are the Panthers better than last year? That's a question that we've been talking about a lot over the past couple of weeks.
Oh, I think the Oilers are, no question in my mind. They move the puck better on their back end, and a healthy Evander Kane makes them better just from him alone. And I like the other guys. Like, their depth guys are really showing up. And like Zach Hyman is playing a completely different game. Like, he was very good last year, had 16 goals. He's got 76 hits, Rod. Like, the guy had 13 hits last game. Like, he is. I talked to Knobloch about it today, and he just said, like, it's not like you went to him, hey, we need you to be way more physical. He's just taking it upon himself. You talked about Marchand banging bodies. Well, that's what Hyman's done. And I would love to see it, because I'm a big believer. Like, when somebody takes the Stanley Cup from you, that's different than someone beating you in round 1. Like, there would be a real natural respect, but also, I think, heightened animosity in a rematch.
Well, it's certainly looking that way, because the Panthers aren't slowing down, and clearly the Oilers aren't either. Like, I was a little shocked that they handled Vegas the way that they did in 5. So I think it would be a tremendous series. Can't get ahead of ourselves. Although, having said that, my buddy Brent, who's driving here right now, sent me a screenshot. Can I tell him, Brent? Sure. Tickets for the East Final, Hurricanes Panthers, are on sale now. It's StubHub.
Well, that they should be. Why wouldn't you? Now, speaking of the Panthers, Rod.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you try watching that series? Because, dude, like, that series is so far below entertainment than the other 3. I couldn't believe it. I'm just like, God, like, this is my job, and I have a hard time following it.
I'm glad it's not just me. And I invented a little game. Count how many times they show Rod Brindamore on the screen.
Oh, God.
So, right, because that's the only entertainment of the whole thing. So, but I think I would, if I was the Leafs, I would be putting those tickets on the bulletin board. Hey, look, guys, the Panthers are already selling. Whatever it's going to take to wake those guys up, I don't know. And I don't, like, yeah, you say, why wouldn't you? But get serious, Gregor. That's pretty bad.
Well, yeah, I guess it isn't. But you got to plan ahead, don't you?
You don't put the tickets on sale till you've won the series. Period. So, but having said that, I couldn't pick the game tonight. I flipped a coin twice, and both times it came up Panthers. But I'll say this. We talk about the hits. Games 1 and 2 up in Toronto, the Panthers out-hit him and they outshot him. They just didn't outscore him. So when it came back here, it was a little surprising to me that they were down, other than Bob was not good.
Yeah.
And I knew that he wouldn't stay that way. And so I'm waiting to see what the Leafs bring tonight, if they have any heart or character at all.
Well, I look at the history of their team. I look at the 2 recent games. Like, I would be floored if Florida scores first and doesn't win. Like, I think Toronto needs that first goal infinitely more than Florida does.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's a really good point. I don't know who scored the first goal in the series. Well, obviously the Panthers, because the last 2 games have been, yeah, right. So have been shutouts. So yeah, that's a really key point. It just here. Let's remind people, there's been no better home team in the playoffs since 2023 than the Panthers. Like, this is their home, and they play differently here. So even if the Leafs were to score first, the Panthers can withstand that. You're seeing how calm they are and how mature they are, the Panthers, right? Like the Leafs look pretty mature and cocky against Ottawa. And in the first 2 games of this series, they look like shells of themselves tonight. So again, we'll see what they're made of, because either like they lose tonight or if they lose game 7 Sunday, they were supposed to win the Stanley Cup, Jason.
Yeah.
Like they got to blow it up no matter what.
Oh,
unless
do they ever, buddy? Toronto did score first in game 1 and won. They also scored first in game 3 and lost. And
there you go.
Like game 3, Rod, was really, I thought, the big turning point of this series. Like they got up early in that game. I think they were up 2-0, and they'd been up 2-0 in the series. And then ever since then, they came back, and you know what? Hey, Toronto got a little bit of a lucky goal to tie it, and then Florida won because both were own goals, and that's fine. But man, it just seemed Toronto, like their killer instinct when they were up 2-0 in game 3 should have been like, guys, this is where the pedal has to get to the metal, and we got to get up 3-0.
For sure. And that happened to be on the road. I mean, I was at that game and I was barely in my seat before it was 2-0 Leafs. So I'm like, oh my God, what the hell's going on? That's when the Panthers, and that's the veteran side of how they play. They're like, no more. Bob shut it down. They started banging. Barkov scored because he is their leader, right? But then the last 2 games, games 4 and 5, the Leafs have looked completely disinterested. There is no explanation for that. And that's why I'm wondering, why would that change tonight? I don't know where they're going to draw inspiration for tonight, other than getting out of Toronto and all the pressure that's on them. I don't know. It's why I'm so looking forward to the game, because I have no idea what's going to happen.
Rod Peterson joins us from the Rod Peterson Show here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Rod, give me your thoughts on Winnipeg and Dallas. I know obviously you've followed the Jets lots for years. You look at Connor Halley and really the Jets at home and then the Jets on the road. Like it's night and day, and it's been that way for the last 3 playoff seasons for that team. Like they got 1 win on the road. Can they do it in Dallas Saturday night?
The odds would say no. If I was betting on it, I'd be betting on Dallas. Sorry, Winnipeg. But it's clearly mental. What bothered me in the losses for the Jets in this series is, Kyle Connor does not back check. He doesn't pick guys up and never has. This guy's an all-star, or, should have been in the final for the USA and 4 Nations. They don't help Connor Halley. They leave him all alone. I think you guys know a little bit about how that goes in Edmonton with your goalies. You know what I mean? And we always say that round 1 is the best round. We always say it, right? That's since we were little kids. I would submit this round 2 is beating the brakes off everything for drama. Like who would have thought the Jets Hellebuck would post a 22-save shutout last night in an elimination game. I thought they would win. I didn't think he'd post a shutout. And he was very good. But he can't do it on the road. I don't really like the things that Hellebuck's saying. As you can tell, I'm a goalie guy. I think you know that. When he came out after game 4 and said, I'm doing the best I can. What did The Rock say? Sean Connery and The Rock? Winners go home with a prom queen. They don't talk about doing their best.
Yeah.
So that bothered me. But at least he's addressing the media, not addressing the media, which has been his way the last couple of years. So again, this makes it must-see TV. Jason, we cannot predict what's happening late in these series. This series tonight, unreal. Yours was the least drama, but I'm sure you're okay with it. We don't like drama as a fan base, right?
Well, the Oiler fans would say there was a little bit of drama because Pickard had won 6 in a row. Oh, trust me, Oiler fans thought the series was over when Pickard got hurt. They're like, oh my God, Stuart Skinner's terrible. And then Skinner comes in and has back-to-back shutouts. So yeah, there is still some drama in Edmonton. Maybe not as much as some of the other series, that's for sure. But there's never a shortage of it. Oiler fans are still some of them are a little bit on edge because of until the team wins. I don't think they'll ever be satisfied, and maybe even then, I'm not sure some will be. But I want to leave you last one. I want to quickly pivot to the CFL. What's your expectations, RP, of the Riders this season? All the changes in Saskatchewan. What do you think that team's going to look like?
12 wins, buddy. First place. Not
Really?
joking. That's what I have. And I like what Corey Mace was. I'm watching it really closely. There was a fight broke out in camp this week, which isn't new, but he kicked the guys out of practice. I've never seen a coach do that. And I'm like, you should do that. If you fight in a game, gone. So discipline is the biggest thing really in this game of football. They have the talent. I really believe that they do. Winnipeg, one of these years, they're going to have to fall off. Their quarterback suspended to start the season. So I got the Riders 12 wins in first place. I haven't been shy of saying it. I'm just a fan of what they're doing. I'm sorry to say I have the Elks 5 wins in last, and I love your guys.
Worse than they were last year.
I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying. Changeover in philosophy, changeover in coaching staff. Trey Ford still got a lot to prove to me. And I just think Vernon Adams is going to light a fire in Calgary. I believe he's all that they were missing. Somebody's got to be last, Jason. I hope to not piss off people in Edmonton, but somebody's got to be.
I think it's Calgary. I think they got a lot of ways to go. I think the coaching staff, the GM change in Edmonton is all for the better. Trey Ford is going to look even better. Their defense is really good. They brought some all-stars from Toronto and Winnipeg, and I think that's going to help them. I don't see it's funny enough, they had a defensive-minded coach the last few years, and their defense wasn't the best. So I actually think they'll be better this year.
I hope you're right. I mean, I'm a big fan of Mark Killam for sure. I want him to do well. I think the story's amazing. It's a tough division. And I had Amar Doman on my show today, and my God, talk to that guy for 2 minutes. He'll have you ready to run through a wall.
No.
And he's very pumped with Nathan Rourke, and he feels that's all they're missing. So man, I can't wait. I love talking about it with you. I love the games. Let's just get it going.
Honestly, I think the West this year it's going to be ultra competitive. I think it's going to be a great season. Should be a lot of fun. And we'll talk to you throughout it, RP. Enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy your Earls, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, buddy. Enjoy the hockey. Yep.
It's Rod Peterson from the Rod Peterson Show joining us from the vehicle on the way to Earls. Who knew? I didn't know Earls was in U.S. Although I'll be honest, I've never been a big fan. No, I'd put if we're looking at restaurants in that ilk, I'm putting Joey's ahead, and I'm putting Cactus Club ahead. I just I was never a fan of the Earl's food. Like I eat there, but it's not like if I have hey, we can go out. I never think going there. I don't know why. It's just not my and even dating back way but now I did like it when they had all the parrots at the Earl's on White. Oh, and when they closed them down, actually we got one for my mom's her greenhouse, excuse me. It was massive. So one of my buddies was working there. So remember when the Earls, especially the one Earls on White, they used to have the huge parrots all over the hanging from the ceiling. I kind of like that. No, they weren't real parrots, in case anyone's wondering. 2:38. Would it be awesome though if they were? Imagine have talking parrots in the restaurant. There's an idea. I can't believe anybody hasn't started that. You see those parrots or the cockatoos that talk, man, and they learn how to draw. They're swearing at you and stuff. Oh, it'd be unbelievable. When we return, Lori-Anne Muenzer is going to join us, and you're going to want to listen because we'll talk a little bit about resiliency. Obviously, that's key. But there is something about the heightened emotion of an athlete. How do you maintain it? Because that's really what the playoffs is all about. And there is an actual thing about this. We'll discuss it next on the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price, starting at just $1 plus tax. For a small, great tasting coffee every single day. Must be McCafe.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love, better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
With all the news about tariffs and price hikes coming our way, you have to be strategic with your money. St. Albert Dodge knows that and has some good news for you. Right now, all Ram 1500s are available with 0% financing for up to 72 months. So think about it. You can get into a brand new Ram 1500 right now at pre-tariff prices, while selection is still good, and pay 0 interest on your financing. That keeps more money in your pocket. And that's how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your Magic clubs. And guess what?
Dang.
They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers Score and Win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers Hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave in 118th.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Awesome. Friday continues on. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely Friday. Hey, a little bit of a weekend off for Oiler fans. No games this weekend now that the Jets were victorious in Game 5. Otherwise, the Oilers would have been playing tomorrow night. But now, probably Tuesday or Thursday. I guess there's the odd chance of a Wednesday. If the Jets win, Dallas can't play Wednesday because they have Katy Perry, and they obviously would have home ice against you. So if Dallas wins on Saturday, I think there's a good chance it'll be Tuesday in Dallas, and then Thursday, which would mean a Game 3 in Edmonton on Saturday. Not bad, Oiler fans. Not bad. Now, let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Female Super League, designed to elevate female youth hockey. The FSL will provide a platform for U12, U14, and next year, U16 players to develop and improve their skills. Learn more at femalesuperleague.com. As a gold medalist, Lori-Anne Muenzer, she's also a mental coach, joins us. Lori-Anne, welcome back. How you doing? Yeah, it's good to have you. So, today we are going to talk about Stuart Skinner, but I first of all want to talk about the emotional energy bank. Like, this is a legit thing, that athletes have. And I don't know if people even call it the EEB, but if they do or not, it doesn't get talked about a ton, but it's a significant thing.
Oh, absolutely. And it can run rampant on you. It can lead you down the path exactly where you want to go. But people don't realize, like, game after game after game, just how much energy you expend. And it's after you play a really big game or you do a big exertion, whether it's multiple days or just, a power of like 60 minutes, just how much energy goes into that. And it's like, it's not just food. It's just not the physical preparation, but there's also that mental preparation, but it also encompasses the emotional preparation too. Because how do you manage it so that you've got enough, so that you can do the whole game or do all of the training, but then repeat it again. And that's the thing that you go through a lot of trial and error with, because sometimes you've got it, sometimes you don't. And number one, it stems from how on mentally are you? And the mental part is actually the emotional regulation. So it's just, are you on? Are you off? Are you somewhere in the middle? What do you need to do to ramp it up? And what do you need if it's going down the tank to bring it back up so you're at that perfect level of not too much energy, but not lacking in the energy as well.
So how do you ensure that your energy emotional bank stays near the top? Right. It's more maybe, on the upper side of half full than on the lower side.
Always on the upper side. And a lot of it comes down to with how are you going into your training sessions? How are you in between transition sessions, which is what I call like when you're setting up before a big event, a big race, a big game. And then what are you doing as you start to get into the dressing room or you start to change and get ready to be on ice or at your event? And then what do you do when you get onto the stage? Because it literally is a stage that you're on. You're playing in front of a number of people. You're playing and there's a number of people watching at home or on TV or pay-per-view, whatever it is. And you just have to shut a lot of those things out. So it's what can you manage in your control? Are you one that if you hear something, you just go down a rabbit hole and you get easily distracted? What do you do to bring yourself back? Because it's like sometimes you'll have the fans against you and they're just booing you. And I remember Skinner saying it was like he could hear and it didn't bug him. He actually, it energized him. But then there's also, if you look at it, sometimes people will go, oh man, I'm done. And they crump, they start to fall right there. And it's like, there's different superstitions too. Are you eating the same thing before the event? Do you eat the same thing after? How do you celebrate? What do you do in the morning? If it's a late game, what do you do? If it's an early game, what do you do? If it's an all-day race, what do you do? And then again, if it's back to back to back, I found that at the Olympics, when it was 3 days for the sprinting, we had qualifications. We had 116, 1/8 finals. Then you go into the quarters, the semis, and then the finals. Is just everybody has a limit where they do really well.
Right.
And then they need a break or they need a big reset. And some athletes need a bigger reset of, just totally away from the ice or something to do with family or friends, or maybe go watch a movie in a theater versus watching it on your phone or in your hotel room if you're traveling. What are you doing again for your preparation when you have to travel long distances? I mean, we're going to have to see where the games are going because sometimes the travel is short, sometimes it's long, and it's way longer than what is the optimal for you as well.
Lori-Anne Muenzer joins us. Speaking of Stuart Skinner, and he did it. He had a slow start to the regular season in 2024. Then they made a coaching change. In the last 50 starts, he was top 10 in all the stats. Then he had a tough start to the playoffs. Well, not really a tough start in the LA series. He was actually okay, but then had 2 bad games against Vancouver in games 1 and 3, and sat out for 2 games, and then bounced back and was pretty consistent and good in his final 15. This year, similar thing in the regular season. Then you get to the playoffs, and obviously it was a tough start. Although I actually don't think he let in that many. I don't think he let in a bad goal, but obviously didn't make any big saves. And he was out for a lot longer this time. That was the longest he's gone really in his NHL career of not starting a game, right? Between game starts. And he comes back in and obviously ends up with back-to-back shutouts. What do you make of Skinner's mental fortitude? And he did talk about how, I don't want to be in this situation where I always have to bounce back. But he's shown the ability to bounce back. How does he show maybe the ability not to have to dig the hole deep?
I think it all depends on what's going on. There's chemistry with the team. There's chemistry off the ice at home. I think he's got a little baby that he's looking after, right? And family dynamics is really going to either contribute and add to your game, or sometimes, like if the little guy isn't doing great, it's going to have an impact, and it's going to be just in the back of your mind as well. So it's like we have to, as an athlete, and sometimes it just doesn't work out, Jason, is that you have to compartmentalize it. And sometimes if it's too long of a stretch of there's too many things going on, it will upset the apple cart. It will upset the performance. And then other times it actually fuels the fire. This is where the coaching staff comes in and making the decision. Okay, I'm going to sit you out. or we're going to sit you out longer. And sometimes it's when you have to sit and watch, it's that hungriness of going, okay, well, what is it that I need to work on in between here that is going to either make or break your performances? And every athlete is so different in this instance. You're never going to get the same scenario twice. And it just all depends on where are you, how good are you at compartmentalizing, and then can you perform? Because everybody is looking at you to perform, especially the goalie. If the puck goes in, it's not good. You don't want to do that. And I think there's a lot of pressure there. Plus, they're not going out in shifts. They play the whole game, or they play like 90% unless they get pulled, and then the second goalie comes in. So it all depends, but you have to maintain the energy. You have to maintain that emotional regulation so that you don't get deregulated, and you've just always got to be on top, and that's the hardest thing to do.
Lori-Anne Muenzer joins us here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. I want to go back to that emotional energy bank, and you don't want it to get too depleted. Obviously, now the Oilers have some time off. They get rested. And Chris Knobloch talked about how, for whatever reason, his team, in too long of a rest, they haven't done well. He talked about the start of the season. Although the start of the season, I'm not sure I really agree with, because the last 10 losers of the Stanley Cup final, they all basically had the same record. Like, it's hard to have a good start after losing the cup. I think it's an emotional, you come back and now you're together and you probably feel it again. But they came out of the Four Nations break and the year before the All-Star break, and neither time it's been good. So what could you do different coming out of a break to ensure you're better this time? Because you know what? In a game against Dallas or Winnipeg, whoever they're going to play, you know what? You don't necessarily, like in the regular season, you got 82 games to come back from a slow start.
Yep.
In the playoffs, you got 7. And so, the room for error is infinitely smaller.
Yeah, you don't have the time with the playoffs here. And number one, it's chemistry, Jason, because there's team dynamics. Either it's going to work for you or against you. So what can you create to make the chemistry tighter, even better? And then what are the individual things that you need to just have your ultimate performance? Some athletes are going to go away and recharge by themselves. Others are going to connect together and stay together, and just, it all depends. So it's just,
but that's an interesting point, because does the coach have to ask, and does the captain maybe have to go around the room? Hey man, like, where do you function better? Do you recharge better solo or in a group? And I wonder if those conversations are ever actually had in a room.
I think they probably are. And I think it's something over time, over the season, that, 82 games, you start to observe your teammates and you start to get to know each other, and you know what triggers them off to go off the deep end, or like you guys have been saying, like, what does it mess with the kitchen, right? You're totally rattled. And then other ones, it's like, okay, if you're really quiet, then what does that mean? There's so many different nuances with personalities, is that when you start getting into the team dynamics, there are different athletes that will gel together. I've always said that I think Kane is the glue. I really think there's something about his leadership. Look at Darnell Nurse. He's just like rocketing. And it's just Corey Perry. He's a vet. He's been around for so long, and it's just, what are the dynamics? And you can see people, they're like magnets. Some will gravitate more towards, okay, there's always somebody who talks a little bit more or who's gregarious. And then there are those who are quiet, maybe more introvert. And sometimes there's combinations that, as you get to know each other, as you're living together, right? So you're always together. You really get to know each other and just go, all right, what do you need? And sometimes you even know before they even say, and sometimes that's enough to just put you onto the next level of the championship performance.
And it's like when the quiet guy in the room suddenly speaks up once, everybody seems to listen a little bit more to what they say. Aaron Grimes, I was walking out of the stadium with him yesterday, and he was telling me about their secondary meetings, and they have Bynum, and he's quiet. He says he never says anything. He went into the huddle, and I guess they were having a pool day. And so in the middle of it, he just said, hey, no bleeping around in the pool, because he doesn't like water. He's kind of scared of it, right? And so the guy's like, this guy says nothing? All right, there'll be none of that, right? So, but he made it pretty clear. He's kind of laughing. Like, this guy never says a word, but they'll speak up, and people, you get certain types, you get more attention, right? Some guys, and they're naturally talkative, and people like that, right? Like, I remember Milan Lucic saying when he played with Brad Marchand, it was great because Marchand was always yapping. So some games he wasn't in the game because it's 82 games. You're not in the game. And then all of a sudden, 20 minutes in, well, Marchand's like his little brother. Now the other team's beaking him off. Well, suddenly he's in the game.
Yep.
Right. Like
Totally.
he kind of brings you into it more just through his own actions.
Yep. And I love the talkative ones. Sometimes it's just like, oh, would you like zip it? Like, come on, enough. And then there's times when you just realize that perfect distraction. They're lighthearted. And maybe I know I was a little uptight. I was a lot uptight, actually.
I was just going to say a little,
but it was just, that was me with my game face.
Right, yeah.
And it was just, sometimes that's enough to break the ice. And like you said, the guy or the gal who doesn't say a lot, and when they speak, it's like, you want to pay attention. You really want to pay attention at those moments.
Lori-Anne, great stuff. Enjoy the weekend, long weekend. Have fun.
You too. Thanks.
That's Lori-Anne Muenzer joins us Fridays here on the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Sal says, hey, I really appreciate Lori-Anne. Always has good insights. Thanks, Sal. That's why we have her on. It's great. Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update. We got Jeff Merrick coming up next hour. We got the 2-minute warning with Tate. Also, we're an hour away from our final chance to qualify for Here Comes the Sun. But let's get to Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month is on now at GMC. You can get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2025 Sierra HD models. See more at gmccanada.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Day 2 of the PGA Championship. Jonathan Vegas atop the leaderboard at 8 under par. Matthew Pavon, Alex Smiley, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Ryan Gerard all tied for a second spot at 6 under. As for the Canadians, you got Taylor Pencheth at -3. Corey Connors 1 over. Looks like Nick Taylor, Mackenzie Hughes, Adam Hadwin all going to miss out on the cut, which is 1 over par. On the ice tonight in the NHL, you got Panthers and Maple Leafs just after 6 o'clock. Panthers leading that series 3-2 in the association. The Knicks will try to wrap up their series with the Celtics. That gets going at 6 from MSG. And in the majors, one game going on right now. Cubbies lead the White Sox 10-3 down in the bottom of the 8th. Just after 5 o'clock, you got the Jays kicking off a weekend series hosting the Detroit Tigers. In the CEBL, Stingers are in action tonight out in Winnipeg taking on the Sea Bears. That one gets going at 6:30. And in the PWHL, Game 4 between Ottawa and Montreal. The Charge can end this one with a win. The winner advancing to the league final where they'll meet the Minnesota Frost. And Justice Maria Brochia has discharged the jury in the trial of 5 former members of Canada's 2018 World Junior Hockey Team after a juror complained that defense lawyers were acting unprofessionally. 3 weeks after, a juror complained about one of the same lawyers and led to a mistrial. The trial will now continue by judge alone. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Wanya Gretz of Oilers Nation, the host of The Sheet, Jeff Merrick, and Tate's 2-minute warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota. Their massive selection of compact tractors has something for everyone, whether you're tackling small tasks or big projects. And right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 72 months. It's never been easier to get the power and reliability you need. Come down to Edmonton Kubota today and drive away with the tractor that's just right for you. Edmonton Kubota, where your perfect tractor awaits.
We've been waiting for this since preseason. It's playoff time, and Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey. Kevin, Lowetide, Jason, and the pre- and post-game shows with Andrew. So many reasons why we're Edmonton's sports leader.
Legend has foretold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slayer smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Truck Month is on now at GMC, and it's one of the best times to get behind the wheel. Right now, get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2025 Sierra HD models with a 13.4-inch diagonal center touchscreen and available Duramax 6.6-liter turbo diesel V8 with 470 horsepower. Plus, the most trailering assistance technologies in its class. Sierra has some serious hauling power and is the only off-road ready HD. Truck Month is on now. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
The job isn't done until Friday is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Are you tossing and turning at night, unable to sleep because of mounting debt? Debt can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to face it alone. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I'm here to guide you every step of the way so you can find peace of mind and finally rest easy. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book a free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
Whether you're a weekend camper or you want to spend the summer on a great golf course, Silver Creek Golf and RV Resort has something for everyone. Over 200 service sites, enough room for large groups, and their new online reservation system for campers. See what Silver Creek RV Resort has in store for you. Call 780-855-3982 and book your reservation online today at silvercreekgolfcourse.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.304. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having an awesome day. Got a really good email from Jenna on a text from Jenna. I want to read. Jason, I appreciate you talking about the World Junior Hockey players. It's important to clarify correct language. This is not her trial. She's a witness. This is the Crown's case as the London police pursued charges, not EM. Important to clarify, especially with all the victim shaming she's receiving from Jen. Very true. Right? How many other witnesses were on stand for 9 days? Huh? That's my point. But to me, that in this case, sure, the witness, but to me, it's the bigger issue here. I don't believe the system protects the victims of sexual abuse as much as it protects the perpetrators of sexual abuse and rape. And I think the numbers back it up. So that's all I'll say. And all I know is anybody out there who sadly in our society, most people want to downplay something until it impacts their family or somebody they know. When all of a sudden it's your sister or your wife or, some of your niece, somebody and they're a victim. Well, now you're like, hey, this is a joke. We got to fix it. Whereas before, come on, right? Totally changes. And that's the problem. You don't have to wait till it impacts you directly to do the right thing. When you look at this case and see how people view it, and it's been that way in a lot of cases. Like probably the worst case I can think of was that Brock Turner case, right? He got 3 months in jail. 3 months in jail when he assaulted Chanel Miller. She was unconscious. She'd passed out, and he raped her and abused her. She was passed out. What happened to him? He got 6 months and then 3 months in jail. 3 months, that's it, because he goes out in 3 months. So please tell me that the system, and when people use the word justice, is that justice to you? I will say, if you're ever looking for a book, I would highly recommend reading Chanel Miller's book. It was Know My Name. Highly, highly recommend it. Whether you're a survivor or you want to get a real sense of what sexual abuse, because the act itself is one thing. What happens after the fact and the days after the fact, Chanel did an unbelievable job. So I'd highly recommend that book, Know My Name. That, to me, that's a book. Like if I'm in high school and you want to educate, young boys and women about it, that's a book that should be mandatory reading. Not like the Chrysalids or some of the other terrible books I had to read in high school. Like, I don't know if any of you had to read the Chrysalids. That might be the worst book of all time to have to read. God, it was terrible. Still bugs me. But to me, that would be must reading. Is it uncomfortable? 100%. But it would start the conversation for sure. Jeff Merrick's going to join us coming up in a bit. We got Cam Tate. We got a lot of text flying in, 833-401-1440. Gregor, why would the NHL consider playing the Oilers on Saturday against Dallas? That can't be right. Lance, I'm telling you, it's 100% right. I talked to Chris Knobloch about it. The Oilers had Winnipeg lost last night. Edmonton was flying to Dallas today. There was going to be a game tomorrow against the Stars. And it comes down to television. And you got to remember, TV pays huge money for the rights. All right, the deal with the NHL. And you know what? There's some deals in there that ensure you have a Saturday night game. So that was going to be it. It couldn't be the Eastern Conference final. That was impossible. So, I think when you make those deals, you're thinking, well, not all of our series are, 4 or 5 or 3 or 4 are going to be done in 5 games. But yes, 100% accurate. Game 1 was going to be tomorrow had the Winnipeg Jets lost last night. But now it isn't. They'll have game 6 of that series. If Dallas wins, I think you will see game 1 on Tuesday in Dallas. They could go Monday, but they can't go Monday, Wednesday because there's a Katy Perry concert in Dallas on Wednesday. And Saturday night is a much bigger TV night. So I don't think they're going to push hard to say, hey, let's rush to play it Monday, then have 2 days off. They would likely go Tuesday, Thursday. If it goes 6 now. If it goes 7, then that means game 7 is Monday night in Winnipeg. If Dallas wins, then you can't start the series until Thursday because they don't have availability on the Wednesday. And if Winnipeg wins, then you could play. I looked at Winnipeg. You could play on the Wednesday if you wanted. But it would come down to scheduling Wednesday East playing and all that because usually, they're going to want one on given nights. Right, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, one on Thursday, one on Friday. Away you go. You guys have all watched playoffs before. We know how that is. So, also a big shout out. We got some Kalmar donuts delivered to the studio today, but they didn't catch the Conzo. I didn't. They just came in. It was one of our listeners. But I didn't catch his name. So unnamed listener who dropped off the Kalmar donuts. You are a gem amongst humans, an absolute gem amongst humans. So we'll see how I tried them. Cons, you had one yet?
I did, yeah. I took one the maple dip. All the maple stuck to the donut it was beside those. So,
well, why didn't you just take that one too?
Well, I mean,
Well, there's only 4 of us and there's 12 donuts here. Like, I ain't eating 3.
Yeah, I mean, I could have done it. I could have, but Lori-Anne was here. I didn't want her to judge me, so I just pulled that away and a little less sugar.
Oh, do you know how much she used to eat when she was competing? She would eat that whole box. No big deal.
Yeah, but I'm not an Olympic cyclist, you know?
That's true. That's true.
If I was out there biking 20K after work, maybe I'd go for it. But, you know, there's plenty of show left. I might dabble still. But, yeah, Kalmar, pretty much the best donut I've ever had, I think.
It is. I'm telling you, buddy.
Because you mentioned a place north of the city.
Oh, no. It's up closer to Grand Prairie. Like DeBolt.
Northwest? Northeast?
No, like DeBolt. No, way up. Like past Whitecourt, past Valley View, all the way to it's unbelievable. So
I think someone dropped those off once, actually.
Oh, God. No, they're good, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are awesome. We welcome in Wanya Gretz. Now, are you going to take it? It's sitting right in front of you.
Be eating while I'm on the air?
Well, no, but
more of a nose breather than a mouth eater on the radio.
Yeah. No, well, I'm telling you, buddy, there is. Are you a big donut fan?
Sure. Like, I wouldn't seek one out, but if there's like a box of them in front of me, perhaps I'm in a police station, I'm confessing to a crime.
Have you ever been to? Now, DeBolt is Crooked Creek's the actual store,
and it was Rob who dropped them off.
Yeah, you've never had the Crooked Creek. Have you ever had a Kalmar donut?
No.
Well, your life's about to change at the next commercial.
I'm so
break.
pumped.
Yes, I'm telling you. Like, there are donuts, and then there's Kalmar donuts and Crooked Creek donuts. They are they're a different level.
If I might, it's like I came to a different radio station today. New studio, congratulations.
This
is unbelievable. Donuts,
yeah.
New studio.
It's a new world we're living in, man. It's a new world. Donuts, everything. Fantastic.
This is pretty sweet.
What we haven't talked to you for a while. You surviving your Edmonton Oilers, some big wins.
Living my best life. This is unbelievable. I mean, flawed teams win cups sometimes, Gregor, and this may be it. This might be the year.
You think the Oilers are flawed?
Are you kidding me? All we needed was Cal Pickard to go 6-1 and then back-to-back shutouts for Skinner.
6-0. Don't discount him. 6-0. Pick's never lost a game.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
6-0 and then 2-0. This seems highly improbable to me, but I'm loving every minute of it.
Yeah. Hey, guys, it seems like the Eastern Conference has a permanent advantage. Less travel time between games in the Western Conference. What do you think? Well, there's less travel. Like, how can you change geography? I'm not sure what you're going to do. You're going to say, okay, you guys are going to play Toronto. You're going to now play your games in, I don't know, pick up Nashville. Like, come on. There's not much you can do for travel wise. That's just how it is. And, you know, the Western teams are used to it. They travel all year long. So you know what? It is what everybody has to play, and you got to win the games. Some years there's tougher teams, maybe more tough teams in one conference than the other. So I wouldn't want to go back to 1-16. I like rivalries. I think the more often you play teams, the more heightened the rivalry is. Like, trust me, LA King fans, like, they can't stand the Oilers. Now, and Oilers fans know how this feels, because it's like when you played Dallas and, you know, you did beat them once, but then you lost 5 in a row. Wasn't fun. But, you know, it builds a little bit of animosity. I like it. I think what's interesting is you can have, if Dallas wins and Florida wins, you have 3 of the 4 teams from the conference finals last year all back in. And Carolina hasn't been out very much because it was 2 years ago that they were in the conference final as well. So, right, against, when Florida swept them. So it's, you know, you stay good. Like, the Oilers are good. And what I find interesting is, hey, most teams use 2 goalies all year long. You do. Like, your backup goalie might only play 20 games, but that's still, you know, 25% of the season, give or take. But then in the playoffs, you never do it. So when it happens, I think it's fine. And we've seen Pittsburgh that in the last decade, Pittsburgh won 2 cups using multiple goalies. Colorado won a cup using multiple goalies. So it can happen. And, you know, Edmonton now, right? Like Stuart Skinner, let's just say he wins the rest of their games. The most that would mean then, if they win the cup, is 16 wins or 10 wins for him, 6 for Calvin Pickard. Just how it is.
Do you feel like the momentum going into, like, who do you want to see in the finals if you're picking?
In the cup final?
Yeah.
Well, I picked Edmonton at the start, so I guess.
But
do I
want
want
them to see them play?
Well, I'm a big fan of rematches, so I'd like to see them play. Carolina's like, I need like an injection of an energy drink to watch that game because like it might force me to drink coffee just because Carolina games this last round against Washington, like hopefully against Florida will be different. But honestly, the New Jersey Carolina series was, but the Washington one might have been more boring. I give them credit; they played their system how they want, awesome, but it was dreadful for any sort of entertainment value at all. So, say Toronto or Florida for sure over Carolina.
Playing Taylor Hall and the Hurricanes would be crazy as a bookend to 06.
Yeah, is there like is the Taylor Hall hasn't been in Edmonton in so long?
It's still an interesting storyline to think back to 06 and be like, you're going to face them again in 17 years into the future with the guy that was going to be the franchise player on the other team. What the heck of a storyline, Gregor?
Yeah. It's a small one. I don't know how big of one it is, right? Like it's not like he's their go-to guy.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, right. So it would be.
I can't see it being the Leafs. They're just.
Well, yeah. I don't. Not many. I put out the poll. I don't know if we use it up, but I asked the question. What happens? Florida wins Game 6, Toronto wins Game 6 and 7, or Florida loses Game 6 and then wins in Game 7. And right now it's 60% that Florida wins Game 6. 29.5% that Florida loses, but then wins. And then there's like 10% that think the Leafs are going to win both.
I am shocked. I was watching a bunch of stuff online. The level of quit with Leaf fans on the Leafs online. Like they're memorializing the team as though they've already packed up their lockers and left. I would love it if they found a way to force a Game 7 in Toronto and then broke everyone's heart on home ice. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, it would. Well, see, I would still like to see Toronto and Edmonton in the final.
Totally.
Just for the carnage, man. Like it would be Oiler fans and Leaf fans. Like, man, I'd be the guy sitting because I'm not one of either one. I would just sit back. When you're witnessing something, and there's not going to be any real damage. Some people are probably going to expose themselves for some of the lunacy that they will believe in, and that would make it interesting. And you know what? The building. I would be curious. If Oiler fans opt to not, they would say, I'll sell my tickets, but only if you're not a Leaf fan. Like, I wonder if that would happen in the playoffs. Because in the regular season, Oiler fans like, no problem, Leaf fans, you want my tickets here, I'll sell them to you. I wonder if that would change in the playoffs. I would like to think so, but the ticket price is pretty damn high, so you never know.
Well, the ticket prices are sky high in the final. Imagine what you'd be selling to a Leaf fan for.
Yeah, that's true.
Whew.
Yeah, it's brutal. Yeah, so. 318, Jeff Merrick will join us next. 833-401-1440. It is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor100, and you'll get free. That's Gregor100. Free $100 play at PlayAlberta.ca. And remember, it's Friday night. Positive Friday, Lotto Max. The Darnell Nurse of lotteries tonight. $25 million. Get your tickets. Good luck at PlayAlberta.ca.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price, starting at just $1 plus tax. For a small, great tasting coffee every single day. Must be McCafe.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada with sports and entertainment properties, including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League's Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
April showers brought huge deals to Wolf GMC Buick. It's truck month all of May, and we froze our prices on in-stock inventory to save you money. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on some of our most popular Sierra pickups, or select up to $8,000 off on these amazing trucks. If you're in need of an SUV, good news, we have a great selection of Buicks and GMCs. Plus, Costco members may be eligible for an additional $1,200 discount. What are you waiting for? Spring into Wolf GMC Buick.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Blue Jays baseball is back on Sports 1440. This Saturday and Sunday, listen live to the broadcast of Canada's favorite team. Proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball. We are Sports 1440.
For a rock-solid start on all your spring and summer projects, Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete to septic tanks, precast water pads to outhouses, plus aggregates, landscaping supplies, and more. Renos Construction. Start planning right now at BashawConcrete.com or call 780-372-3854. That's 780-372-3854. Family owned and operated, proudly serving Albertans since 1963. Bashaw Concrete Products.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I know there's no such thing as a free lunch. But when you bring your used RV to No Bull, I'll give you a free roof assessment. Now, what do I mean by that? It means we'll climb up and take a real close look at all the joints and connections and seals on your roof, and give you a written report on what's going on up there.
How often do people get up on the roof of their RV, Rick?
Not often enough, Bob. You should do this twice a year.
Would I know what to look for if I did it myself?
Maybe. Depends on how experienced you are in RV maintenance. But remember, there's no free lunch. There's a 1 out of 10 chance I'm going to sell you something. But what I want to sell you is a small repair. The kind we catch before there's a lot of water damage, rather than the kind that costs you thousands once the leak is visible from the inside. And 9 times out of 10, the assessment is really free. And it's also free to know you'll be safe and dry this camping season.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday continues on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. And man, I love this text because to me, this is a big positive. This is like a serious positive, but awesome. Hey, Jason, the book Know My Name by Chanel Miller motivated me to write about my own story with domestic violence. It's being published this summer. Finally brave enough to come forward and have some tough discussions from Kathy. Well, Kathy, good for you. All right, very sorry what happened to you, but hopefully it brings you some peace, and I look forward to reading it. Man, I'm all about like tough stories, man, inspirational ones. I read a lot about in athletes and, in different things about life. And I'm telling anybody out there, Know My Name by Chanel Miller is one of the best books that I've ever read. Like, it's hard. I'll tell you right now, it's she was the victim. And at the time, the unnamed victim, remember Brock Turner? He was convicted of 3 counts of felony sexual assault, only ended up serving 6 months in jail, and actually only spent 3 months in jail, served 3 months, was charged 6. What an absolute joke. But anyway, he was that swimmer, and she was unconscious, and he raped her, and he got 6 months. So don't anybody tell me that the system is set up to protect victims. He got 6 months. Remember his dad? Oh, no, he's a good boy. Yeah, guess what? Good boys don't rape people. I'm sorry. It's harsh, but it's true. Now, let's talk a little hockey as we go around the NHL, brought to you by Action Electrical, reminding you Your last chance to qualify for Here Comes the Sun, courtesy of Action Electrical, comes up at 4 o'clock. They give tons in the community. You want to support a great company? If you need solar, you need anything done electrical around, actionelectrical.net. As Jeff Merrick, host of The Sheet, joins us once again. Jeffrey, how you doing?
Jason Gregor, how are you? How are things in lovely Alberta? I'm guessing the smiles are a little deeper in Edmonton these days.
Oh, Oiler fans are excited. They are. They got a weekend off. They probably might not know what to do with it. They're like, God, I got to do yard work out here this weekend now. There's no games. But, hey, the Oilers, they really controlled that series against Vegas, full marks for them. And now they move on. We'll get to the Oilers at the end, Jeff. I do want to get your thoughts on the Maple Leafs tonight and the Florida Panthers. And just like, God, the Toronto Maple Leafs, that effort in Game 5 was it can't be worse tonight. But can they show up, I guess, and just do you think they got a chance to compete tonight?
This is going to tell you everything you want to know about the Maple Leafs, good or bad. Like all the stereotypes you've ever had about the Maple Leafs will either come crashing down, albeit maybe temporarily, or there'll be a flashlight shone on them. Like there are just some games, there are just some moments that completely reveal who you are as an athlete. This is one of those nights for all those players. And I know front and center is going to be Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. I get it, but for all of them. And I'll tell you, you go back to that Game 5 on Wednesday night and look at the first goal. Look at the Aaron Ekblad goal. You have 5 Maple Leafs below the hash marks, all competing for the puck. Not one single player in a blue sweater is choosing to do anything with his body. It's just long stick, long stick, long stick, long stick. It's like when you're playing, hockey at recess in grade 3. It's just sticks clacking together. Next thing you know, it squirts to Ekblad and it goes in. And everybody looks at each other and kind of says, maybe one of us should have played the body on, I don't know, someone, anyone. And that set up the entire evening. That was that game sent shockwaves throughout the entire organization, all the way to the top. Like I'm firmly in the camp of it doesn't matter what Craig Berube said. It doesn't matter what Brad Treliving says. It doesn't matter what Brendan Shanahan says. There's only one person when you get to this point whose voice matters, and that is the big guy. Keith Pelly, the CEO of MLS Sydney. And we can recall the press conference last year when he said things like, we're not here to sell jerseys and accountability and we're here to win and like all of it. Now, I've known Keith for a long time. He was one of the people along with Scott Moore who first hired me at Sportsnet. So I'll admit my bias there right away. But that is the one voice that I want to hear from through all of this, because that's the one who's going to decide if it all collapses either tonight or if it goes back to Sunday. That's the voice through all of this, who is going to matter. But you can't have a night like you had Wednesday and follow it up with anything other than a performance for the ages. If the Maple Leafs have that in them, that's the big question.
Well, to me, the big question is why it got to this point if I'm Toronto, because it's the definition of insanity, Jeff. Change GMs, multiple GMs, change multiple coaches. You keep the core four. And it's not like people haven't discussed the core four and their unwillingness or inability to collectively come through at the key time. Like, this is not new. It's just, they won a round and people act like winning a round is like some great accomplishment. Like it's not when you have that much money invested in your top guys and consistently they haven't done it. And so this would seem like the final straw, but I would argue that it's something that should have been fixed prior to this. Or fix is the wrong word. It's something that should have been changed prior to this.
So I look at those top players, the core four that we always talk about. The one thing that stands out to me, well, there's a couple of things. One, you look at great teams through history. You look at the teams that have actually accomplished something. The one thing they all have in common, well, first of all, the team can defend. If you're going to win cups, you have to defend. And listen, the defending has not been the Maple Leafs' issue. It's been goal scoring in the playoffs. And that's where we have to question the high-priced help. I look at all these guys, Jason, And I say to myself, there's so much overlap of skill that it's almost doomed to fail. You look at the great teams and they have distinct players who do distinct things. Like Trottier was different than Bossy was different than Gilly, right? Go right down the list of all the great teams that you've ever seen. But when you look at the Toronto Maple Leafs, you say to yourself, Nylander, Matthews, Marner, even throw in John Tavares as well. Aren't they more similar than different? Like you have a lot of guys who essentially can do the same thing, but they're deficient in all the other areas. And let me give you an example here. At the Four Nations, how profoundly different, like Jason, profoundly different, did Mitch Marner look playing with Sam Bennett? Like it's night and day. You know, the thing that the point that Adam Oates has always made about Mitch Marner, and Adam will tell you, he's a huge Mitch Marner fan. Adam Oates loves skill like that. Adam Oates' point has always been, why does it always have to be that Mitch helps everybody else? Mitch is going to support this guy. Mitch is going to do this for that guy. Where's someone that can complement what Mitch does? You know, Mitch Marner spent a lot of time getting the puck for Austin Matthews. And Oates' point has always been, who's the player that can do something profoundly different that allows Mitch Marner to be the best version of himself? And I know it's a small sample size, but didn't we just see that at the Four Nations when he played with Sam Bennett? Sam Bennett, of course, is a profoundly different center than Austin Matthews. But what made it really work and what really allowed, you know, Marner to play what I think is his best version of himself was Sam Bennett did a lot of the things that both Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews can't do. And it's a lot of the physical work that we're talking about here. You look at Matthews, you look at Marner, more similar than different. Throw in Nylander, and I can't help but wondering how things would be different if it was, instead of 4 players that are more similar as opposed to 4 elite level players that are more different. Because you see that with Florida. You know, Barkov is different than Verhaeghe, is different than Tkachuk, is different than Lundell, is different from Marchand, and go all the way down the list. Toronto's not like that. They have a lot of guys to do the same thing, Jason.
Well, hey, guess what? Nazem Kadri, Zach Hyman. I think those guys had that element, but you know what? We're going to keep the same 4 who don't have the element and get rid of the guys who have the element.
I am so glad. Like, first of all, I'm a huge Zach Hyman fan. I've been on record of being a Zach Hyman fan for pretty much day one. But I am really glad you brought up Nazem Kadri, because here's the thing. I remember Peter DeBoer, when he coached the Kitchener Rangers, traded for Steve Downey to Peterborough Petes, and I remember talking to him, and I said, why would you trade for Steve Downey? He's gonna spend a lot of time in the penalty box. He's gonna take suspensions. He's gonna hurt kids. You guys are at the Memorial Cup year for the Kitchener Rangers. What are you doing? And DeBoer said, you know, Jeff, you're not a coach, and here's what you have to understand. As a coach, I would rather have to tame a tiger than paint stripes on a kitty cat.
Yeah.
He said, I can always calm someone down. I can't build someone up to be something that they're not. And you look at the Florida Panthers. You know how the Florida Panthers treat suspensions, whether it's Aaron Ekblad or whomever? Cost of doing business. Cost of doing business. We're going to be bullies. We're going to kick sand in your face. We're going to take your per diem. We're going to hurt you. Your favorite color might as well be purple because we're going to leave a lot of bruises, and we are going to win. And if we take some suspensions and maybe break a couple of noses along the way, so be it. The Maple Leafs just saw the suspensions and said, you know what? We can't have that. That's too costly. As opposed to treating it like an investment where you have someone on the ice who's willing to play that way and walk that line. Leafs have no one that wants to walk that line. And you need guys that are going to walk that line, and every now and then they're going to walk over it.
Yep.
And Paul Maurice to Bill Zito will say, you know what? We expect our guys to go right up to the line. Every now and then they're going to step over, and that is just the cost of doing business. The Maple Leafs weren't willing to accept that suspensions are the cost of doing business.
Yeah, totally fair. Jeff Merrick joins us. Jeff, Dallas, Winnipeg. At home, the Winnipeg Jets, Connor Halley, they're pretty darn good. But now we see, can the Jets, they are 1-9 on the road the last 3 years in the playoffs. Hellebuck's numbers are off the charts bad. Can he turn it around? Can that shutout, is there something that can change for Winnipeg's psyche on the road?
I wish I could tell you the answer. Nobody. Scott O'Neill doesn't know. Mark Scheifele doesn't know. Connor Halley probably hopes that he knows, but it's the one thing that I keep trying to find comparables, right, in history. And 2011, Roberto Luongo could not play in Boston at the final, just could not.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, could not make it through a game. And I don't know what it is about Hellebuyck in St. Louis or Dallas here, but it's night and day. It's not apples and oranges. We've said it before. It's chalk and cheese. It's so profoundly different for Connor Hellebuyck. I wish I had the answer. I can't, honestly, Jason, I can't wrap my mind around this idea that here's a guy who's going to be a soon to be 3-time Vezina Trophy winner. May end up winning the Hart Trophy this year too. Can't play on the road in the playoffs. And you're right, the numbers are Jekyll and Hyde. It's completely different when he's on the road. I wish I had an answer for you. I wish I could sound semi-intelligent. I know it's a horrible sports talk radio answer, but I don't know. I don't think any of us do, Jason. I really don't.
Yeah, it truly it doesn't make a lot of sense, Jeff, to be honest.
No.
And the thing that makes the least amount of sense for me is that the guy at the top, Brendan Shanahan, had the grit. He had a combination of skill and toughness and everything. And you would think he would know, great teams need mixtures of different things, right? They just do. Obviously you need high-end skill, and Toronto has high-end skill, but move one of them and you could have kept Kadri and Hyman. You think about it, Kadri and Hyman would have cost you 10 mil together.
Yeah, I know.
Get rid of one of the guys who made 10 mil and you would have been better.
And then don't forget too, and this one I've always wondered about with Shanahan, since this was technically his first pick. But before he signed that second contract, which went right down to the wire, the deal on the table that was being discussed was Alex Nylander or William Nylander for Alex Pietrangelo.
What?
How much different are the Toronto Maple Leafs if that trade happened? Yeah. That's what St. Louis, they knew, Army knew that it was going to happen with Pietrangelo long term. That was the deal that Dubas and Army were talking about. It was Pietrangelo for William Nylander. How different is Toronto, Jason?
Oh, well, yeah, with Pietrangelo, yeah, they'd definitely be different. No question, right? He would help on their back end. I'm not sure he'd help them score if they had the same four, but you're right. You get rid of Nylander, and then you keep those other guys. They would have been a lot better. Now, let's wrap it up with the orders, because I look at the orders team, and they've got a good combination. You've got elite skill in McDavid and Draisaitl, who also have a real kind of, to use the kids' quote, a dog inside them. Crosby had it, and Ovechkin had it, and McKinnon has it. They play, Kucherov, same thing. They show up, and they know how to elevate their game. But then they've got guys like Zach Hyman. Zach Hyman has 76 hits. He had 13 hits the other game. He's running around like crazy. Then you got Evander Kane, you got Trent Frederick, and you got some depth guys who can chip in offensively as well and play good defense. And you look at the orders and how they dispatched to Vegas. Do you see Dallas or Winnipeg? Which one do you give a better chance to beat Edmonton?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. I would probably say both at their best. I would still give the advantage to Dallas over the Winnipeg Jets. But man, if they're both healthy, boy, that's a tough question. I'll still lean Dallas in that series, and give me 7 games of Dallas Edmonton all day long. Thank you. But I'll tell you what. Hearing you talk about Zach Hyman a second ago, all that I can think about, Jason, is Red Berenson. Red Berenson, who, by the way, should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame, discussion for another day. I remember having a conversation with Hyman earlier this year, and we talked about Red Berenson, his time at Michigan. And Zach said, he came in from playing in Hamilton in the OJHL, top scorer on that team, walked into Michigan. I'm going to be a big scorer. And he scored 1 goal in his first year. And it was Red Berenson that sat him down and said, like, look, you're going to play on this team, but you're not going to play the same way you did when you played in the OJHL. Like, if your A game is not there, in the OJHL, he's popping in like 40 goals a year. If your A game is not there, you need to develop a B game. You need to be able to do something if you're not scoring. And Zach Hyman took that to heart. And he became like, well, if I'm not going to score, I'm going to be the hardest working guy on this team. And I'm going to throw my body around, and I'm going to show the coach that I am making contributions each and every shift. And it wasn't until his last year at Michigan, when he played with Dylan Larkin, that all of a sudden that offense came back. But he always credits Red Berenson for teaching him, like, you can't just play one way. Because that may not work at the next level. You need a big, and that's what makes a guy like him so damn versatile and so important on a team. He can score 50 goals. He can score 40 goals. He can tap him in around that. He can bounce him in off his face. But if it's not going in for him, he still has something to offer you. And ditto for someone like Connor Brown, too. How many times you said, like, that goal's possible because of Connor Brown's work along the boards, right? And Connor Brown's a guy that probably could have tried to surf on the skill that we all saw him have with the Erie Otters of the OHL. But he's developed a different game, too. And that all comes from inside. Right? Like, if you don't have your A game, what's your B game? The greats all have that. And even, like, down the lineup, right? Like, you're mentioning these names. These are all guys that have a number of different ways to play. That's what makes this team so deadly. And, God, I loved hearing Stuart Skinner talk the other day about being at peace. Now, Stuart Skinner's heard everything about his game. Now, by the time you get to the NHL, every player has heard everything about their game. I get that. But Stuart Skinner has really, really heard it for a lot of years. And also, he's heard about it this series. And to hear him talk about, after back-to-back shutouts, how he was at peace with everything, I don't know. Maybe, Jason, I'm just getting old, and I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. But I honestly, dude, I just loved it. Yeah. Hearing a guy talk publicly about that, to me, is something we don't ever hear, especially not from goaltenders. I thought that was really wonderful. And I'm super happy for the guy. Yeah. Super happy for the kid.
Hey, before I let you go, Jeff, Bryce Pickford set the record 7 consecutive games with a goal for a defenseman. The Medicine Hat Tigers. And that's the last 2 games without Gavin McKenna. Sadly, he's been injured. We'll find out if he's going to play tonight or not as Medicine Hat looks to wrap it up. Pickford's been bypassed in the draft a little bit. This is a guy now that I think the team's got to be looking at here a little closer at the draft next month.
Absolutely. And there's always late developers, as we all know. This is still a very well scouted, NHL, it scouts all these leagues very well. I'll tell you what, the one thing about this year's edition of the Memorial Cup, and we'll see here, hats up 3-1 on Spokane. Medicine Hat makes it in. Is this, now I'm just doing this off the top of my head, but you have London, beat Oshawa last night. You have, Rimouski's the host. They're already through. Moncton, who I still think might be the best team in the entire CHL, they're already through as well by virtue of Rimouski. And then you have Medicine Hat thrown in. Is this not the strongest field that we've seen in, Jason, I don't know when? And then you have this delicious sidebar of Dale Hunter as a coach against Gardner McDougall with Moncton. Who is the better coach? We know the McDougall is the winning machine. We think of UNB, St. John, he won the Memorial Cup. Dale Hunter is going to go down as the greatest OHL coach of all time, with all due respect to Brian Kilray. I'm telling you, man, this year's Memorial Cup in Rimouski could be one for the ages. And it might have the best field that we've seen in I don't know when.
Oh, they've got some good players on both teams, man. It's stacked, right?
Everywhere. And then get Hat in there with McKenna. Hopefully he's okay by that. Like, honestly, dude, this one looks like it could be a beauty.
Oh, yeah. No, and Oiler fans, hey, they got a few of those London guys that they might be wanting to watch fairly closely. So Sam O'Reilly, a few of his other teammates there. William Nickel. So should be good for Oiler fans to check it out.
Yep. Should be a good one. Should be a good one.
Thanks, man. Have a great day, Jeff.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. Have a great weekend.
You betcha. That's Jeff Merrick from The Sheet at dailyfaceoff.com. 3:45. That's right, Oilers fans. Of course, the London Knights, Sam Riley, who, of course, was their draft pick last year. They traded up, traded their first rounder this year for O'Reilly. And then, of course, they took William Nickel late. And William Nickel's had a great season, man. Great season. They're probably hoping he's looking for a few more goals in the playoffs, but he had a great regular season. So you got Nickel and O'Reilly for London. Quick break. We'll come back. We got the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate and more. Jason Gregor, Wanya Gretz, Connor Halley, and Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
Grant Fedoruk here from Leading Edge Physiotherapy. Now, some people live with problems they don't have to because they might not know that we're here, the things we can do, and the issues we can help. Problems less talked about, like incontinence, vertigo, Bell's palsy, and lymphedema, or even things people live with every day, like shoulder, neck, and low back pain. So while a lot of people already know we have the people, tools, and technology to help you head to toe, I'm going to keep at this, because if just one more person gets the care they need, then every penny we spend sharing what and who we can treat is worth it. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
I'm tired of waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup.
And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhock beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhock, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Will Hockey game day with Will Hock beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
At Vision Credit Union, we've been around a long time. In fact, we've been serving rural Alberta communities for 75 years. We launched in 1950 with $128, 21 members, and a mission to help our communities. It's still our mission today. That's why we return 75% of Vision's profits to members, offer full-service banking in underserved rural communities, and prioritize contributing to charitable causes in our hometowns. We're here for good. VisionCU.ca.
All right, give me something big.
The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on.
Bigger.
Get a big truck and an even bigger deal.
Love it. Now the details.
Right now, lease a 2025 F-150 STX with the black appearance package from $220 bi-weekly at 0% APR for 24 months with $43.75 down. That's like $110 weekly.
Now bring it home.
Plus, there's a $750 bonus for eligible Ford owners. Hurry into your Alberta Ford store or visit Ford.ca today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Feeding a crowd, get the triple play. 3 large specialty or 5 topping pizzas for only $54 when you use promo code 3play at papajohns.ca.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Good text in. So it was Big Rob who dropped off the donuts. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. It's a good trade. It's a good trade for us, I think, today. So we'll take it. 350 on a positive Friday. Jason Gregor, Wanya Gretz, Connor Halley. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Email inbox. Guys, generational talents don't get scratched in the finals, though. Who are we referencing here? Bad Niv. Who got scratched in the finals? Are we talking Four Nations? Well, and first of all, generational, let's be honest. The only generational talents in the NHL, if we're talking true generational talents, I would say Ovechkin and Crosby and McDavid. That's it. That's why it's generational. We don't need to water down phrases to have everybody involved. This is not elementary school where everybody gets a participation ribbon. Generational talents are generational. There's one, maybe two. That's it. There's no one else.
Nate McKinnon?
No. Have you compared Nate McKinnon's career numbers to Connor McDavid?
Of course not. I have things to do.
Yeah. Well, I'll just tell you for fun. So let's just go back and we'll look, because Nathan McKinnon obviously played more years than Connor McDavid, right? So Connor McDavid has played 712 games.
Unbelievable.
Nathan McKinnon's played 870 games. So McKinnon's played 158 more games, and Connor McDavid has more points. He has 1,082 to 1,015. McKinnon's last few years have been good, but generational talent is from the get-go. You're there. And that's not a knock on McKinnon. McKinnon's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's an unbelievable player. But Mark Messier was phenomenal. No one said he was a generational player because there was Wayne Gretzky. Because there's difference, right? It's like when people call, Connor Bedard's generational. Sit down, zip it. Okay? It's so embarrassing to make that claim. No one should ever be called generational until they've been in the NHL and dominated that. I don't care if you dominate junior hockey. You're not dominating the NHL. Until you dominate the NHL, this generational isn't a projection, right? It's just foolishness. And it's people, because now you put this unrealistic pressure and expectation. And Connor Bedard has a good year. Yeah, but he's supposed to be generational. Based on what? A few idiots who call him generational? That doesn't mean he's generational. He was never generational. He's a really good player. But he's not a generational talent.
Can he be a generational junior talent?
Sure, but then just say he's a junior player. But then, like, no one says Rob Brown is generational, because if we're talking, then Rob Brown's the greatest junior player of all time. He had 212 points in the Western League, greatest Western League player, I should say, right? Ray Farrar had 108 goals in one season.
Wow.
So, everything. Hey, Bedard was really good in junior. Don't get me wrong. He was phenomenal. And I think he's going to be a good NHL player. But he's not generational talent. He's not. It's like people now are always trying to say it about Gavin McKenna. I'm like, stop. Gavin McKenna, really highly sought after prospects, having a hell of a season, has an unreal junior career. And it's okay to say that. You don't have to add the other projection to somehow make yourself feel better, because it's unfair to the player. He's not calling himself generational. Connor Bedard sure as hell wasn't waking up. Hey guys, Connor Bedard, generational player. Nice to meet you. No, he wasn't.
What about Cale Makar?
No.
Leon?
No. Leon's not, and I love Leon Draisaitl, but Leon Draisaitl has played 78 more games than McDavid, and McDavid has, and this is Draisaitl, who's a pretty good player, 125 more points. Right? Like, Leon Draisaitl is phenomenal. He's a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's not a generational talent. He's not McDavid. McDavid is just different than anybody else in his generation.
So you think there's 3 active generational players?
Yeah, and 2 of them are at the tail end. Yeah, like Crosby and Ovechkin. I know they came in the same time, but look, we're talking like Crosby was dominant, and Ovechkin's had obviously the greatest goal scorer of all time. Like, that puts you generational, the greatest goal scorer of all time. And he was unique, Breed, because he scored a ton of goals and he ran over everybody. Like, he was a unique combination. There was no one else like him in the league who could score and hit like he did. No one. I just think we have to be realistic, because you end up weakening the elites of the elites by wanting to anoint everybody. Well, we need more generational players. No, you don't. If there's guys who are actually worthy of it, then they can get consideration. Otherwise, no. You just can't. And hopefully we learn. Gavin McKenna, whoever drafts him, is going to be pumped, right? I don't know how good he'll be. I'm not going to pretend to know. I think he's going to be a really good player. But after a decade in the league, if he does that many good things, then you can say it. But by then, you don't know.
Where do you think Connor Bedard will land for his career?
I think Connor Bedard's going to have a really good career. Like, look at Nathan McKinnon. It took him how many years before he burst onto the scene offensively, right? And so Connor Bedard at a younger age has had some better numbers. Now the league's a little bit more offensive, so that comes into play here for sure. He's had an unreal shot, but he's got to get a little bit quicker in today's NHL. He just has, and he's also smaller. Like that's a fact. Like, it's harder when you're not 6'1" or 2. If you're 5'9" or 10 and you're really skilled, but you don't take up as much space. There's lots of he hasn't skate like McDavid or McKinnon, right? So it's going to be different and harder to attack. And he's not big enough to slow the game down like Draisaitl does.
Who's a comparable for where you think Connor Bedard will end up?
To me, I said it. I always use Patrick Kane as my comparable for Bedard. I was like, if he could have a Patrick Kane-like career, he'd be unreal. Patrick Kane was a phenomenal player, right? Phenomenal player. One of the most exciting players in the game. He was a big gamer in the playoffs, right? Came up huge for the Hawks when you needed him in the postseason. I think Bedard will probably be a little bit better of a goal scorer per se than Kane, right? Because Kane had, and Kane scored, I think, 100 points. Cons, look it up. I think it was twice, right? I think he's got it twice. I think he had 90 points numerous times, but I think he actually only got to 100 twice, if my math is correct. So, and that's hard. Like 100 points is really hard, right? So if he could be Kane, that'd be unbelievable career. Because for years, Patrick Kane, I still swear, when the pucks were on a stick in the offensive zone, there was no one more dangerous than Patrick Kane. And he would do that swoop. He'd come down up the hash marks, up to the top of the blue line. You'd be like, oh my God, now he's just going to dissect the defense. It was awesome. So, Bedard, I look at stature and stuff. So I would say, hey, if he can have a Kane-like career, point totals and stuff, that would be a hell of a career. And maybe he can have more. But look, even the Sedins, they had a really good career. Probably got a little bit overrated, to be honest. And when you look in the grand, for them to be first ballot Hall of Famers of guys who aren't in, I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. But really good players. But how many years did it take them to even be 70-point guys? So I think Bedard will have a really good career. I think he'll be a 1,000-point career guy for sure. And you know what? As he matures, and it'll help getting a few other players, guaranteed. But he'll probably be a 100-point player. I'd be surprised if he wouldn't. But I don't think he's a generational player.
I'm trying to remember, was there the hype around Kane that he too was a generational player?
No.
Or was he not saddled with that?
No, well, I think America, not in Canada. So sadly, as much as we're passionate about hockey, there's some Canadian outlets that, jump the shark a bit. And so there was that. Kane came out. Now he was the surefire number one pick. And I would argue he's the main reason why Chicago won all those cups, because they won the Patrick Kane lottery and moved from 5th to 1st, right? Like that. They had lots of other good pieces, but that was a pretty important piece. So, yeah. Hey, Greg's, any generational goalies? Good question. I'd probably have to put Patrick Waugh, right? Marty Brodeur. Dominic Hasek was really good, but not so much for as long of a period. But at his peak, God, he was really good. But it took him a while, right? So even then, I'm not sure I'd say he was generational. Brodeur and Raw had right from the get-go really good careers and stayed at the top. So yeah, those two would probably be the most recent. I'm not Vasilevsky of all the active ones. He might be the only goalie that I would think would have a consideration maybe when it's all said and done to be in that category. For me, someone else might have a different viewpoint, but not putting Bobrovsky there. You're not putting Hellebuck there for sure. So I'm not sure there's another goalie to even get consideration today for that.
I think generational goalies are even rarer somehow than
it's a hard position, dude.
Yeah.
Very difficult position. Yeah. It's a good question, though. Now let's get to the 2-minute warning. Brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer. LegacyHeating.ca. Here's Cam Tate. Of course, Tater, longtime journalist in town. Cam, born with cerebral palsy. He's in a wheelchair. He's always wanted to be in radio. Now, through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
All right, let's talk coaching. Not cliches, not clipboards, not cliches about clipboards. Real coaching. The kind that turns matchups into magic, because when the Edmonton Oilers punched their ticket to round 3, courtesy of a gritty, greasy, gorgeous overtime goal, the fingerprints weren't just on the puck or on the stick, they were on the bench, belonging to one Chris Knobloch, he of the calm eyes, the quiet stare, the long, thoughtful pauses before he methodically answers reporters' questions, and the guts to juggle lines like they were hot potatoes at a campfire cookout. Listen, you don't put a guy like Kasperi Kapanen back in the lineup just for the vibes. You do it because you believe he can help you win. And what did he do? Helped. Played fast, drew penalties, got under the skin like a good playoff rash, win in overtime on the road against the Golden Knights, who went night-night. That's not a gamble. That's trust. That's leadership. That's coaching, my friend. We saw Knobloch clearly outcoach Jim Hiller of the Los Angeles Kings in round 1. He pulled Stu Skinner after the Oilers were beat in the first 2 games. He gave Calvin Pickard a start which ended with 6. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 consecutive wins before Skinner got hurt. And here's the kicker. For all the right calls he's made in this, his second playoff run, 8 wins and counting. You get the feeling Chris Knobloch's best work? Just like the Oilers' Cup hopes might still be in front of him. The 2-minute warning with me, Tater. Jason Gregor Show, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Sports 1440.
Chris Knobloch, a lot of us, and you know what? I asked him about those decisions. We'll get to Knobloch coming up in the next hour. Just kind of what goes into it, because it's not just as easy as hey, I think Kapanen's due for a good game, right? Now he did say, hey, you can make the right decisions and the guys play well, then it looks like the right decision. But it is one that a lot goes into it, lots of conversations with different guys, and then he does say, and then you got to make a hard decision, because the hardest part of his job is to tell a player he's not playing. It's easy to say, hey, Kapanen, you're coming in. Like, that's an easy conversation because guys pump. But when you got to go to Arvidsson and you have to go to Emberson and you have to go to Skinner, and hey, you're not playing, that's a tough conversation.
I feel for Jeff Skinner with one game after all those years. But one game's better than no games.
It's true. It's very true. 4:03, let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice, and the legendary new Dragon Fruit lineup is in the Dragon Slayer smoothie, the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and the Dragon Booster Ball. Conquer your cravings today at Booster Juice.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Round 2 of the PGA Championship. Jonathan Vegas atop the leaderboard at 8 under par. When it comes to Canadians, you've got Taylor Pension, the -3, Corey Connors -1. Looks like they'll both make the cut, which is set at +1. Nick Taylor, Mackenzie Hughes, Adam Hadwin, not so fortunate. On the ice tonight, Panthers host the Leafs. Puck drop just after 6 o'clock. Florida leads that series 3-2. In the association, the Knicks can wrap up their series with the Celtics at 6 o'clock, leading 3-2. And in the majors, the Toronto Blue Jays hosting the Tigers. That gets going just after 5. Only one game going on right now. Heading into the 4th in Cincinnati, the Reds lead the Guardians 5-0. In the CEBL, the Stingers are in action out in Winnipeg, taking on the Sea Bears. That gets going at 6:30. PWHL, Game 4 between Ottawa and Montreal. Charge can end this series with a win if they advance to take on Minnesota in the final. And in the WHL, Tigers and Chiefs meet tonight at 8 o'clock. Tigers can wrap up that series with a win, leading 3-1. And from the NFL, the San Francisco 49ers and quarterback Brock Purdy agreed to terms on a 5-year contract worth $265 million, $181 million guaranteed. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Craig Button from the NHL on TSN. Ask 5 questions, and it is your next chance to qualify for Here Comes the Sun. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Get moving with Volvo and save big for summer during the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at Volvo Cars Edmonton.
40 Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great. But you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza
Appreciate
for
it.
only
Good trade.
$6
Good
when you
trade.
order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
It's playoff time, and we've got a lot to talk about. This is Andrew Walker on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Tune in after every playoff game for the Ridge Social Eatery postgame show. The Ridge is the new hotspot in St. Albert, and it's so good.
In an era of mass-produced disposable furniture, Old Hippie stands apart by utilizing only the finest solid Canadian wood. We invite you to visit the showroom on 50th Street in Camrose so you can experience for yourself the natural warmth and enduring strength only solid wood furniture can provide. Each piece, built right here in Edmonton, is built to last a lifetime. And when you stub your toe on it, you know it's solid wood. Head on down to Old Hippie Wood Furnishings and make sure you tell them Jackie Ray sent you.
If you're passionate about golf, you're in for a golfer's dream at the Quarry. Challenge and natural beauty come together across 27 holes every golfer should experience. Book now. Get geared up at the Pro Shop and start swinging at the Quarry. Don't forget the Granite Grill Restaurant, an unforgettable top-tier venue to host all your events. For rental details or to book your tee time, contact the Quarry today. Edmonton's most popular golf and event venue. Call 477-THE-Q and visit thequarryedmonton.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team at Old Strathcona has special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.408, Jason Gregor. Winding Gretz, Connor Halley with you. Little extra brass bonanza for you on a positive Friday. It's a little warmer today than it was yesterday. Also, I got some text in. If you were heading northbound on 97th Street by Yellowhead, truck tried to go underneath there. Didn't work. So it's backed up. Avoid it if you can. Oof, man. That always had happened still every now and then. It happens on the high level, and you're just kind of like, what? It used to happen quite a bit in the old rat hole. I don't know if you guys, I'm probably aging myself significantly for those who remember the rat hole on 109th Street. You old enough to know the rat hole?
I know where it was. I don't remember it, but I remember they were always trying to pry things out of the rat hole.
God. It's a classic design, the old rat hole.
That's why they got rid of it ultimately. Is stuff kept getting stuck.
Well, yeah. Well, plus it would flood bad if there was ever rain. Like it was not necessarily, but yeah, I get at the time. So hey, you know what? We always learn and we can improve some designs on things. So there's railways and lots of things that played a part to it. But it was quite the roadway. If you went on the old rat hole, I like it. The Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website. Pleased to announce that they have a new partnership, Play Alberta Field, now at Commonwealth Stadium. Nice. They do a lot in the community at PlayAlberta.ca. Today is your final chance to qualify. You're waiting for your final chance today to get in to qualify for a $15,000 turnkey solar system for your home, courtesy of Action Electrical. It's amazing. Now, you got to be a homeowner, need to reside in Edmonton or 50K outside. And your shingles, 12 years or newer, because if they're ever older and then you get this awesome system put on, but guess what? Now your shingles are wonked in 5 or 6 years. Well, that's going to cost you way more. So trying to do is save money, because this thing's going to save you a lot of money. 15 grand on install, and then minimum $100 a month, I would think, based on when we had at the farm. Like, I couldn't believe how much money my mom saved having solar at the farm on the barn. It was stunning. And so this is one where you don't have to pay for it, and all it does is lower your bill. Like, that is a big win.
It's like winning money.
Oh, it is. It is like winning money. What are you going to do with that extra, whatever it is, $80, $100, maybe $150, depending on your house? No, it's a few extra, whatever you like. A hat, t-shirt, dinner, movies, lots of options.
Kalmar Bakery Donuts.
Oh, Kalmar Bakery Donuts for sure. If you win this, you better buy it. I'll say this: whoever wins, you should buy a dozen donuts for the installer from Action Electrical. I think that'd be a fair trade-off. You just got a $15,000 system.
That's a great prize.
I know, it's unbelievable. So today's your final day to qualify. Today, Barry said, we you know what? We were thinking we were going to go really hard on the last day, but then we decided, you know what? Oh, that's not Positive Friday. It's kind of Prick Friday, and we don't want to do that. So today for Positive Friday, very easy. If you are remotely paying attention, and I think most of you are who listen to the show, who leads the Edmonton Oilers in playoff points right now? 833-401-1440. Even Wanye Gretzky mouthed me the answer. Oh, that's when you know it's a good question. Wanye knew it. Your name and the name of the current member of the Oilers who leads them in playoff scoring. 833-401-1440. So, nice. I like it. Now, let's get to here's Chris Knobloch. And I just wanted to ask him about the process that goes into, lineup changes, mid-game, in-between games. How much is it pass? How much is it gut feel? And he explained kind of his rationale when he makes those moves.
I think a lot of it has to do with, I don't know, there's many factors we think about. One is what happened in the regular season, who played well together, who has success. That obviously has a lot to do with it. Then we have to look at how the guys are playing at the moment. Previous game, was that line good? Do we need a shakeup? Do we need more speed to our lineup? And then, a lot of information I take is from, what the players have been saying, like who they like playing with, who's has success together, and what they feel that they need. And then obviously a lot of conversations within the coach's room. What do they see? What do you think we need? Do we need more physicality? Do we need more defensive play? Do we need a shutdown line? I don't know. And then all those things that we kind of weigh and debate, and then finally make that decision. And ultimately, when you make the decision, hopefully, obviously it works, but you've got the players that can come in and do that role. So it's not that we're asking guys to come in and do something that they haven't done. But when we've got a lot of good hockey players, we've got guys who aren't playing right now that we have a lot of faith in, but we've only pretty much got 11 or 12 forward spots every night, and usually it's 12. So there's usually a couple guys out. So I don't know. I think there's just a lot of things that we consider making those decisions.
I like it. Good long answer. Lots of things go into it. Conversations, with other coaches, even sometimes as players. Like some guys, I think a good part of coaching is you got to know sometimes, like, hey, what do our players feel like? Certain guys they play better together. They complement each other. You might, people are like, well, why is Podkolzin playing with Draisaitl? Well, because he does a lot. The thing about Podkolzin is, now, he would rather not get scored on than score. That's how he's wired. Like you never see him cheat ever. Now that might limit some of the offensive chances, And I'm not sure he's necessarily he's not like a savant that makes all the smart decisions. He just doesn't cheat, right? Whereas Matthias Janmark, he's probably their smartest defensive player. That's why, like, how many guys at this stage of their career, hey, coach, you're gonna play center now. Way more responsibility. And Matthias Janmark is playing center and doesn't look out of place at all. Like, that's way harder than people think. Like, name the last winger who moved to play center and did it very well. Like, in the playoffs late in the year. Like, Messier did it. He was a bull. But, Messier also had played center lots when he was younger, right? Matthias Janmark did play center back in junior, but that's like a decade ago. So, but Podkolzin makes a lot of really never cheats in the own zone, ever. And he's relentless on the forecheck. And the thing with Podkolzin, the minute he gets the puck, he is like always looking for Draisaitl. So I can see why he kind of likes it, right? Like, he's always looking for him. But certain guys just play better with others. And they're like a unique combination. Because Draisaitl had him all year long and still scored a lot of goals. So, now, could he had a few more points maybe if he finishes? Yes. Like, do I think Podkolzin's the long-term perfect answer as your second line left winger? I do not. But for now, fine. Because your third line is scoring a lot. And your fourth line's contributing a bit. So that really helps. Right? But that second line did score the overtime winner from Podkolzin, Kapanen, and Draisaitl. So it's playing pretty well. Once again, our final question for Here Comes the Sun, courtesy of actionelectrical.net. You can text in your answer, 833-401-1440. And we'll pick a name during the commercial break. We'll give you a call. Be sure to answer your phone, by the way. If you get a phone call from a blocked listed number, that's Connor Halley. That's how he rolls. It's kind of a big deal. He doesn't want everybody knowing his number, even though it's a station phone. Don't tell him I said that. He just doesn't like it. It's very quiet. Doesn't want people to know what station he works for. So, but if he calls you, answer your phone. The question is, who leads the orders in playoff points right now? 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Put your name on it and the name of him. Also, Evan Bouchard, who for the third consecutive season has elevated his play in the playoffs, and no one can say it's because of Matthias Ekholm, because Matthias Ekholm ain't playing. And I asked Knobloch, has he seen just Bouchard's play defensively, specific last series, man? He outscored the opponents. He was only on for 2 goals against 5-on-5 the entire series. And he got promoted on the penalty kill.
Yeah, he's a smart hockey player. I think unfairly he gets criticized for some mistakes he makes. Everybody makes mistakes. But boy, does he make a lot of good plays. And, he makes a lot of great breakout passes that lead to goals rather than going off the glass and out. Well, when you're making that many good plays, you're bound to turn over the puck. And something bad's going to happen once in a while. And the good definitely outweighs the bad. And there are some bad, absolutely. But he makes so many good plays. And as for the defensive play, I think, with our team, the intensity and the focus and what is riding on every shift, I think he's dialed in right now. He knows the importance of playoff hockey, and he's bringing his best. And we've been asking a lot out of him and through the playoffs. And in fact, we've been asking him to be one of our top 4 penalty killers. And he's stepped up and done a really good job of that also. So I think it's just playoffs bring out the best guys, and some fade, some wilt. We've got a lot of guys that they don't fade. They bring their best.
Ooh, someone's throwing a shot at someone else there. Jeez, Matthews and Martin, the big 4, taking shots, even not knowing it. I'm kidding. Obviously, wasn't referencing that, but it's true. It's very true. You got to be able to elevate your game when it matters, and he has. Right. That's why I'm just going to say it again. Oiler fans, be prepared. He's getting a $10 million contract. Deal with it. He makes way more good plays than bad plays. It's just the facts.
10 million Canadian?
No. No. And good for him. You put up those type of numbers, right? I never, and when you consistently show that you can elevate your game in the playoffs, I'd pay those guys. And especially because he's doing it without Ekholm. No one can say that, well, he's only doing it because Ekholm, right?
I'm looking at the stats here, Gregor, at the Oilers website. Jake Wallman plus 13.
Leads the NHL.
What?
Yeah, Wallman's been quietly really solid for the Oilers.
Sure, but plus 13. That's unbelievable. 2 points?
The highest plus an Oiler player. Evan Bouchard was plus 14 all of the playoffs last year. And McDavid was plus 15 in 2022. So that's the highest. You go back into the I would say post Gretzky, the highest plus minus for any Oiler, so which would be 1989 and later, was plus 15. McDavid and Steve Smith.
What do you think of the playoffs that Darnell Nurse is having? I'm just looking here. 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points, even.
Nurse has been fine, right? Nurse had one game that I didn't really like his play, and then other than that, I think he's been fine. He's kind of like, it was kind of symbolic. It'd be hard to press maybe outside of McDavid's third period in the first 2 games. You really liked anybody on the Oilers, right? Other than that third period by McDavid, they weren't great, but since then they've been pretty solid. And him and Stetcher, like Nurse plays a ton of minutes, and he's cut down his big errors as well. Right. And so I like Nurse in the Vegas series. I thought was more aggressive, and I'm a firm believer he plays better when he's more aggressive.
I think a lot of the Nurse haters just switched over and jumped onto the hating on the Bouchard train because I thought he's tightened his game up a lot this season. Hasn't had nearly as many glaring errors, and yet you don't see people saying, "Look, he's tightened it up."
It takes a while for some to change their opinion on someone,
or maybe they won't.
Yeah, very true. Very true. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll have our announcement for our winner, our final qualifier for Here Comes the Sun. Also, we'll hear from Craig Button on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features, including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price, starting at just $1 plus tax. For a small, great tasting coffee every single day. Must be McCafe.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksyeg.com.
Mr. Rooter hits the gym. As a new Mr. Rooter plumber, you get access to our company gym.
Nice. Where's the equipment?
Over here, we have a variety of tight pickle jars. Open those up to work out your pipe wrenching muscles. We've got your standard weighted plungers and over here, a pipe wrench.
Why is that guy forcing his body into a suitcase?
He's getting limber. A good plumber must be able to fit under any sink.
For a plumber who always works out, call Mr. Rooter. It's playoff time. Let's go. From pre- and post-game shows to analysis from Kevin, Lowetide, and Jason. This is going to be a fun run. For all things hockey, lock it in to Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I know there's no such thing as a free lunch. But when you bring your used RV to No Bull, I'll give you a free roof assessment. Now, what do I mean by that? It means we'll climb up and take a real close look at all the joints and connections and seals on your roof and give you a written report on what's going on up there.
How often do people get up on the roof of their RV, Rick?
Not often enough, Bob. You should do this twice a year.
Would I know what to look for if I did it myself?
Maybe. Depends on how experienced you are in RV maintenance. But remember, there's no free lunch. There's a 1 out of 10 chance I'm going to sell you something. But what I want to sell you is a small repair, the kind we catch before there's a lot of water damage, rather than the kind that costs you thousands once the leak is visible from the inside. And 9 times out of 10, the assessment is really free. And it's also free to know you'll be safe and dry this camping season.
And that's no bull. NoBullRV.ca.
Work hard, get dirty, build better communities. If that sounds like a good day's work to you, GS Construction wants you to be part of their team. Right now, GS Construction is looking to hire experienced top men and pipe layers for underground sewer and water work. So if you know your way around a trench, take pride in doing the job right, and want to be part of a crew that has your back, let's get to work together. Apply now at gsconstruction.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Awesome Friday rolling through. Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley, Declan Cougar running things at Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. We are live at Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. And it is time for our final qualifier for Here Comes the Sun, where you could win. We'll do the draw next Friday. Oh, baby. Be a lot of excitement. Someone's going to win a $15,000 turnkey solar system for your home, or they can gift it. That's quite the gift. You need to be a homeowner, need to reside in Edmonton or 50K outside, and shingles 12 years or newer. Cons, who is our final qualifier?
Final qualifier is Sheldon.
Sheldon, congratulations, buddy. You got in.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. Positive Friday just got a little more positive.
Oh, for sure. Hey, have you ever had the Kalmar Donuts?
No, I've heard about them, especially on your show, but definitely want to give them a go.
Well, here's the deal. If you win, you have to go out there, get a dozen for yourself, and then a dozen for the crew at Action when they install it. It's like our unwritten rule.
Sure.
It's pretty fair trade for a $15,000 package. I would think that'd be a good trade-off.
Any day.
Yeah. I like it. Are you going to keep it? You're going to gift it? Have you thought about it?
Yeah, just thought about it here after I got the call, and we just moved into a place last year. It'd be great to get it, but then also thinking of my parents, they're on a senior's income and it would probably help them, but knowing them, they probably insist that we keep it. So I guess we got to cross that bridge when we get there.
All right. Well, stay on the line. Connor will, there's one final email step, pretty simple, that ensures you are in, and he'll get all your details and send it to you, and away you go. Good luck.
Great. Thanks. Appreciate it. You have a good long weekend.
You too. So there you have it. Thanks everybody for listening. We will do the draw next Friday, and somebody's going to win a $15,000 solar system courtesy of Action Electrical.
What's the procedure? You're going to do like NBA draft lotto, like ping pong balls?
No, we're just doing one. Just do, the names go in the draw, and boom, we just pull one.
So you're going to print them all off?
Oh, yeah, print them off.
What's the bowl going to be?
Well, we have, I've got we're very high tech here.
Yeah.
I have the same bowl that I use all the time. It's like a jug that's in the bar here in the studio. And, it's actually, I guess, now, the new over in the kitchen. And that's the one we've used for all the draws when I do draws for tickets and stuff. So that's our go-to draw box.
Patrick Ewing frozen envelope?
No,
Nothing.
There's no like pre-draw and then we bring out the envelope. No, people need to see it live, right? As they saw with the NHL draft lottery, they like to see it live. So you have it. You can watch on YouTube, put the hand in, pull it out. I show them the name. That's the winner.
Is anyone from Deloitte present?
No. Deloitte? Who the hell is Deloitte? Deloitte in here?
They're at all the drafts.
No.
They do the Oscars.
No, you'll be here.
I'll be here?
Yeah. It's next Friday.
I'll be Deloitte.
Yeah. You'll be Deloitte. All right.
Unbelievable.
Deloited to see someone win. Let's go in the room. Brought to you by Action. We're going to go, in the room. Brought to you by Action Electrical. And we just want to thank Blake and everybody at Action Electrical. That is honestly, it's an unbelievable package. $15,000 for your solar system. And then all the money you're going to save for the next few decades to have it installed. So awesome for them. They've been a big sponsor of the show for a long time. And now they're giving back to a lot of our listeners. It's unreal. So thanks to Blake and everybody at Action Electrical. And we're going to get you some donuts. That's our deal. That's the least we can do. Well, we welcome in former NHL GM, Scout, now ace analyst and scout for TSN. Craig Button joins us. Butts, how you doing?
Good. I just got to follow up on what Wanye was saying. What, you think just as it's live, it can't be rigged? Have you ever been to Vegas and you watch the sleight of hand that goes on? How you get fooled? Like now all of a sudden they don't think it can be rigged because it's live. But Wanye, I'm with you. Like, there's got to be a lot more.
So you guys are saying
there's got to be a lot more controls in here.
Well, you know what? I'll hold it and I'll make Wanye put his hand in the thing. Because trust me, there's no sleight of hand from him. He's not quick enough.
I just watched the Cooper Flag draft. Anything's possible.
There you go. The Cooper Flag. I mean, can you imagine that, Wanye? Nico Harrison might be the dumbest general manager in sports, and he gets lucky on that. But I hear he's going to trade the pick back for Luka.
Back for Luka. Yeah, that would be classic. Well, that should probably be a smart pick for him because, as good as he will, I'm not sure he'll be as good as Luka.
What do you make of all that, Craig? Is that just numbers and you keep pulling out the draft balls and weird things will happen, or is that sus to you?
Yeah, well, I mean, what was it? 1.8%? Is that what the chances were? Nobody's ever moved up. New York Islanders from 10 to 1. Oh boy, I think there's lots of room for conspiracy theories.
Now, Craig, we want to get to the Edmonton Oilers and their kind of domination of the Vegas Golden Knights. And I know, are they better than last year? It's hard to say. All I know is they're a little bit different in how they're going about it. And it's very successful so far.
Oh, there's no question about it. You look at what they've been able to do, and I love the other day when Connor McDavid was asked about their defensive play, and I totally agree with him. You cannot go in on the road and play a really good team like the Vegas Golden Knights and win 1-0 and not be good defensively. It's been impressive, and 4 lines. Everybody playing. I mean, we talked about this a little bit, and the timeliness of everybody getting healthy, playing to the best of their capabilities, team coming together. Now, hey, that's what the playoffs are about. And the Oilers have picked a fine time to get it all together because right now, I think they're playing not better, just as well at this point as they were last year at the same point.
They are going to face the winner of Dallas and Winnipeg. And crazy enough, that game would have been tomorrow had Dallas won last night because the TV deal. They wanted a game on Saturday. But now it'll be the Stars and the Jets, Craig. And you watch a lot of hockey, and it's amazing to me the Jets at home to the Jets on the road are like the ideal Jekyll and Hyde. They can't win on the road. And it's not 1 year. It's been 3 years. They got one road win in the playoffs in 3 years. Now, they played really well yesterday, but it was at home. Do you think they can somehow bottle it up? I don't know. Do they take some shavings from the ice in Winnipeg or something? I don't know. They get a bunch of people, buy some fans tickets behind their bench to dress in white. What do they got to do to figure out how to play on the road?
Well, Jason, if we could find a way to deliver that answer to Scott Arniel and the Winnipeg Jets, we'd never work another day in our lives because they're looking for the same answer that you're asking me to provide. So here's where I'm going to go. 2 years, and combined 2 years, they've been the best team in the NHL with respect to points, wins, and defensive play. And yet, you look at their playoff record, and I'll just go to the last 2 years. I won't even bring in the third year. And it defies logic that you can't win on the road. Because to have a record like they've had in the 60s, you have to have played well on the road. I don't know why they can't play well on the road or why they can't have success on the road, but they have no choice. Their season ends on Saturday night or it continues because they had success on the road. I thought Game 4 was a really important game for them to try to get into a spot where they know they could win on the road instead of potentially coming back from a must-win on the road in Game 6 is where they find themselves. It's interesting because I don't think it's been one thing. Goaltending hasn't been great on the road. Defensive play hasn't been great on the road, and scoring hasn't been good on the road. So I thought in Game 4, you know, they're playing good defensively. They're not giving up very much, but they didn't generate any offense. And you're not going to win games scoring one goal. We know that they're a good defensive team, and we know that they have some offensive firepower. I think if I'm the Dallas Stars, I'm going to look at it this two ways. Dallas Stars, I'm coming right out, and I'm putting Winnipeg on notice. Not tonight, not in our building, and we're not gonna let you think that you can win this game. And conversely, if I'm the Winnipeg Jets, you got to come right out and play on your toes. I don't think you can dip your toe in the water, kind of manage the game at the out. I think you have to prove to yourselves that you can get out, dictate the game, and find a way to put Dallas back on their heels. Because if Dallas does to Winnipeg that, I think it's curtains to the Jets in Game 6.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's hard to argue with that. The Dallas Stars, like Jamie Benn, the punch on Scheifele got fined yesterday, but I'm like, hey man, gloves are on. It's quite the shot, knocked him and the linesman down all in one blow. So that's probably why I got the fine, because the linesman went down. But like in a weird way, like maybe that's what Winnipeg needs to wake up. Like they got to come in with some anger, I think, in Dallas. And the other thing is, Craig, I've watched their shot selection on the road. Like in Game 5, they played better than Dallas in Game 5. And I don't even think Hellebuyck played that bad in like his first goal, but it's a 1-1 game. Connor has a breakaway, then he has another good chance. And both times they're going low. The scouting report on almost every goal in the league is to go high. Sometimes I think the Winnipeg's top guys, your shot selection at key times has to be better.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that, especially when you haven't had success. You got to make the goaltender think about some different things. And Jake Ottinger is playing pretty darn well right now for the Winnipeg Jets, or for Dallas, sorry. And I also think that they're passing up opportunities to shoot the puck in different areas. I'm not talking about shot selection when you got the great chance. Like the goal last night that ends up being the winning goal, Scheifele's trying to make a pass. He's trying to make a pass. And you get a fortunate break into the net. I find the Winnipeg Jets are doing more of that than they need to. Like, look at the winning goal, the series clinching goal. Puck to the net, get there, look for a rebound, and hunt the puck. I think when you see how quick teams can transition now, and we're at that point now, all the teams left playing are good.
Yeah.
If you try to make those cross-ice passes, those what I call those kind of feathery passes, those finesse passes, the other team knocks them down as going the other way. I think they not only, to your point, have to think about different ways to shoot in different locations. I also think they have to get into a shot thought, what I call shot thought mentality, and stop trying to think about passing it, because some of those plays just aren't going to happen. And they're not, especially against good defensive teams.
Craig Button from TSN joins us. Florida and Toronto, Craig. The Toronto I said it earlier today. I'm not surprised that the Leafs are in this situation, because the Maple Leafs problem has been the same problem forever. Their four superstars they play a similar style. They don't have anybody with a ton of jam on that team, and that's who they are. But they would have been better off trading one of them, keeping both Hyman and Kadri to complement them, because they're different styles of players. And so I'm not shocked that here we are again. And guess what? When the going gets tough, the Maple Leafs guys can't elevate it, because none of them play that way. Now, maybe you would like them to play that way, but none of them play that way. So I'm not even sure how they learn it from each other, because none of them know how to do it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, Jason. And you know, it was a philosophy Kyle Dubas had, and I'll be straightforward. I think that what Kyle Dubas did in his 5 years was a spectacular failure because he thought, and the blueprint with him and Sheldon Keefe was puck possession. We're going to beat you with skill, and we don't need big guys, and we don't need jam and everything. Oh yeah, you do. Oh yeah, you do. And you think about the skill that they've had and the decisions that they made. Like I said, I don't shy away for it one bit. Spectacular failure that's happening. And again, you're trying to think about playing the game where it gets really hard. You have to elevate, and you don't have players that can do it. Like, tell me who on the Toronto Maple Leafs makes the Florida Panthers uncomfortable.
Maybe Nyes, right? Would he be the only guy?
Maybe.
Yeah.
And so you're asking one guy, right, to go in there and unsettle an opponent. This isn't about one guy. This is about a team and a mentality that says this is the way we're going to play, and we're going to be relentless. And you need skill, but you also need that hard play. The playoffs are about who can go the hardest, the longest. That's what it's about. Why are the Edmonton Oilers where they're at right now? Because they've gone harder and longer than the two teams than they just beat. And you just look at it. You don't tell me Connor Brown doesn't make teams uncomfortable. Like, put them out on the penalty kill. They're uncomfortable. There's different ways to make teams uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not just physical play. It's not just edgy, gritty play. There's lots of ways to make teams uncomfortable. I don't think that the Toronto Maple Leafs, the way they're constructed, I think Brad Treliving did a nice job on the blue line. I really do. But up front, I don't think that they got what it takes.
Nope. Well, we'll talk about it just in case they shock the world, because most of us are thinking it'd be like if they could win 2 against Florida, Craig, I'll be honest, like that would be the biggest surprise that I can remember in a long, long time. Because the whole past and the recent here 2 shutouts, for them to win 2 in a row against Florida would be mind blowing to me to see it happen.
And you know what you will do? We'll give them their props.
Yes.
But I said this the other day to your point, right? I'm not buying anything that they're selling. Their actions have spoken loudly. Their actions have spoken for a long time. And we're talking about a team that hasn't – they think they're close. That's what scares me. They think they're close. And we can talk about the different things and how you how you construct your team. This is the first time they've won 6 games in a playoff year. They're 10 away. They're 10 away. They're not close to anything. They're closer to being like out in the, well, they've only gone past the first round. This is only their second time. I'm not buying it. But I'll give them their props if they do. I will.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you. It'd be hard. Lastly, you hearing anything on McKenna? Is he going to play tonight? How serious is that injury?
My understanding, and I'm no insider, and I haven't done any of the work, okay, and we're doing the game on TSN. My understanding is he was a full participant in practice, and the injury is not serious with respect to long-term. When I say serious, I'm talking about will it keep him out of the remaining part of the series if it gets to a Game 6 or after that to the Memorial Cup? And my understanding is no, and very well could be a participant in the game, in this Game 5 versus Spokane, where they can wrap it up.
Well, hey, man. Jeff Merrick asked this earlier, and we were kind of having a fun discussion. We assume Medicine Hat's going to finish it off, right, at some point here. You look at London's already in, and you look at the 2 Quebec teams. Is this maybe the best field we've seen in the Memorial Cup? Like, when was the last time you'd say these 4 teams are this good?
Yeah. I would say that it's been a while since we've seen this quality. And I'll go back to, by the end of November, maybe early December, you get a really good feel for who the best teams are in the respective leagues. There was no question Moncton and Rimouski were there. London was certainly there. And I thought that Medicine Hat, Calgary, Everett, and Spokane were the best teams. Everett got caught with some injuries. But I thought Medicine Hat was the best team in the West. And that was before they got Caden Lidstrom back in the lineup. I think that, and before they had traded for Tanner Molendyk. Medicine Hat, Rimouski, Moncton, London. Yeah, those are 4 really good teams.
Yeah. Wow. It should matter.
High quality, high and star power.
Wow. Hey, what about Pickford? Give me your thoughts on him, the Medicine Hat D-man, man. He's 7 goals in 7 consecutive games. First time like since the mid-90s that's happened in the dub. And, a guy got looked over a few times. Is this just a great example of a little bit more of a late developer, Craig? Or is this just a 19-year-old dominating the league?
No, he only got looked over once, right? He's an 06, isn't he?
Yeah, 06, yeah.
Yeah. So he only got passed in the draft once. And I think you nailed it, Jason. It's just like, when nobody drafts you in the NHL, that means that you didn't show enough. Like, you can say, okay, he went in the 7th round. That means one team was ready. Nobody was ready to draft him last year, which says you're there. You're not ready to grab the attention. Well, he's totally changed that. I think he's a top 75 pick all day long, the way he plays the game. And he's certainly taken his game to a high level here in the playoffs. So, really smooth, really smart, a player that can play defense as well as he plays offense. And I think that the scouts have noticed that. And I don't think there's any question that he will be drafted this year. And like I said, top 75. But I think his plus minus is like plus 22, I think, whatever you want to put in the plus minus. But that's a pretty significant number, whatever weight you want to put on it.
Yeah, in the playoffs. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
So, short period of time. Awesome stuff, Craig. Enjoy the game tonight. Oilers fans are like, what do I watch? Well, hey, you can watch Butts on TSN, Medicine Hat Spokane, Game 5, WHL Final.
Yeah, well, tune in. Listen, Nate Thompson is doing the game. And color commentary, he's doing a fantastic job. Played in the Western Hockey League, had a good long career in the NHL. Doing a great job, but hey, you get to watch McKenna. You get to watch a star. And that's always nice to watch.
Yeah, he's not a bad player. Not a bad player.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I'm going to say, yeah. Scott, if they get to the Memorial Cup, and I expect they will, not suspect, but when they ask me about McKenna, Jason Gregor scouting report, not bad.
Yeah, exactly, not bad.
I'm going to give you full props.
Greg,
give you full props.
Whatever you do, don't call him a generational player. It's the biggest bane of my existence. I think it gets thrown. It's unfair to players. I think who knows how good he'll be, but he's not a generational player. He's never played a game in the NHL.
Hey, here's what I'll say, Jason. Just give me a little bit of time here, real quick. Like I've been guilty of that. Okay, and like McDavid is a generational player. He was, and I know what you're saying. Crosby generational, Lemieux, and everything. And we watch these really good young players come through, and I've been guilty of it, and I'm changing that. I am changing that, just to your point, because unless you're going to show me what McDavid showed me, or you're going to show me what Crosby or the group like Lemieux or Lindros, sorry, you're going to have to prove it in the NHL.
Yeah. 100%, you have to, and plus it's
I agree.
Less pressure on the people are like, oh, Connor Bedard's not generational now. I'm like, well, I don't think Connor Bedard walked around and said he was generational, so I don't blame him.
You're right.
Yeah. So
yeah, awesome. You're right, but you learn, right, and it's been a lesson that I feel, to your point, is not fair to the player, because it creates expectations that are maybe not totally realistic, and that's not right.
Totally fair. Greg, always great to talk to you, my man. Have an awesome long weekend. We'll talk to you next Friday.
Thanks, Jason.
There you go. That is Craig Button from TSN.
Was Lindros a generational player?
No, because he couldn't stay healthy enough. He had the potential, right? Like he came out, there was not many guys that big, that physical, but you look at his career stats and nothing about it screams generational, right? He had potential, but injuries, how he played, no, not at all. Quick break. We'll come back. 5 questions on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing: taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Adventure just doesn't stumble into your life. It roars to life with Riverside Motorsports. Tearing up trails or cruising the open road. Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and dirt bikes deliver the performance you crave. Built for thrills, ready for your next adventure. Yamaha's legendary performance and reliability take you there. Make Mother Nature your playground on a Yamaha from Riverside Motorsports. Located on St. Albert Trail. RideRiverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
It's the final weekend of the Bricks tent sale, and you can now save up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and store. With new specials every day and a bonus gift with furniture purchases over $9.99, the tent sale final weekend won't last long. Save up to 50% off mattresses, up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture, and save $700 on sofas and sections. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
For 50, Scotty Scheffler, welcome back, is lurking. He's now within 3 strokes at the PGA Championship. He's 3 under today. He's now at 5 under par. But Max Homa and Siwoo Kim each shot 7 under today. And actually, Kim's still on the course. Also, Matthew Bavon was 6 under today. So that's moved them up to, they're all at 6 under par. Canadians, Taylor Pendrith, 1 under today. He's tied for 15th at 3 under par. So, still lurking around. It's got a chance. Looking after that, not necessarily a great outing for the Canadians. Or maybe I missed him. I'm scrolling. Oh, there's Mackenzie Hughes. Yeah, he's +9. Didn't have a great tourney for him. Looks like Sergio's going to make the cut for all of you. Rory McIlroy is a winner. Corey Connor is 300 today, so he's shut up. He's pretty comfortably going to make the cut. So would be a great come from behind victory for old Connors. That'd be nice. Now let's get to 5 questions brought to you by the Brick in the long weekend. You don't have any hockey games to watch. Maybe you want to go shopping. Well, get indoor, outdoor waterproof speakers when you spend $999 or more on any furniture in the store. And also you can get up to a 70% off clearance furniture this weekend at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys, question number 1 today. Corey Perry is celebrating his 40th birthday today. Also, happy birthday to Jeff Skinner, who's 33. But if you were buying Corey Perry a gift for his birthday today, 40 years old, what would it be?
Before I answer that question, which is valid, I would just like to say that the coverage of Corey Perry turning 40 was breathless in the media. They've been telling us Corey Perry's turning 40 for like 4 seasons. Corey Perry in a few months is turning 40. Corey Perry in a few weeks.
Well, no, the guy
40.
who was talking about it a lot, Stoff, did say it was his birthday today. He even asked a question at the press conference about him because Stoff's been the one who's been mentioning his birthday more than anyone. So,
I heard more about Corey Perry's 40th birthday this season.
Yeah. What'd you buy him?
An 03 Mike Comrie jersey.
Jeff Skinner's birthday today too, 33. Just in case you're wondering.
1 playoff game, but 1 playoff assist.
Yeah, you'd buy it. Well, yeah, he's a point of game player in the playoffs. Well, hey, what'd you do in the playoffs? Point of game player.
No big deal.
Yeah, can't argue with it. What did you say? A Mike Comrie?
Yeah, and I'd say I wish you came here a long time ago.
That's actually funny. What did you get? I would probably buy him a bag of those jelly worms. Right, it's his nickname, so probably give him some candy. Probably never has any. So yeah, give him those worms.
Question 2. If you had to predict when Matthias Ekholm and Calvin Pickard make their returns to the Oilers lineup, let's say a start for Pickard, which games do you think it'll be?
Well, not this round for Pickard. So Matthias Ekholm, when do I think he's going to play? It depends how the series goes. If they're leading, not going to play this series. I'll say that. If they're trailing, game 4, maybe.
I would be shocked to see Matthias Ekholm playing in the playoffs for the Oilers.
Yeah.
Shocked.
I know you're going off of that. Oh, his bone ripped off the thing. That story's not accurate.
Well, earlier off the air, I said what I'd heard had happened to Ekholm. And then you said I actually looked the man in the eyes and talked to him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why sometimes it's not fun to debate sports with you, Gregor, because you actually know the answers. The rest of us like to speculate.
Question number 3 for you guys. Jamie Benn, who was in the final year of a $76 million contract, was fined $5,000 for punching Mark Scheifele last night in the Stars' loss. Now, the maximum under the CBA, that was it. If you were given the power, and I'm not saying you get to consult with the CBA, I know what they're going to say. Would you raise the maximum fine amount?
No. Especially for that last night. If the linesman doesn't fall with him, I don't think there's a fine.
Imagine you get a superpower, Gregor, and your power is to change the allowable fine in the CBA. Like that's what you're.
That'd be like the worst superpower.
That's what you've been given.
God,
that superpower.
But I would probably I would put in like some strategic ones because there's certain ones based on this or that that you can get more fines for. But I would have it so it's like if you're a number just to annoy people, I would change. Number 27s. Get fined more. God, it'd be funny. Just to rattle people.
Where does the money go from?
Goes to the player assistance fund.
What is that?
So it helps former players who yeah.
Then dial up the fines. If there's it goes to a good cause.
Yeah.
I'd dial the fines right up.
Okay.
Make it commensurate to your pay, like Finland speeding tickets.
Well, it currently is commensurate to your pay, only based on a certain percentage. Yeah, but it's still based on the percentage of what you make.
Well, in the time it took to write a check for $5,000, Jamie Benn made $6,000. So I don't think he's that worried about it.
It's true. Yeah, I'm guessing his the interest he's making is pretty good.
Question number 4: will the Leafs or Jets force a Game 7 in their series?
God, I hope so. I love Game 7s. I know we got one this weekend in the NBA with the OKC and Denver on Sunday, but wow, God, think about it. The Jets can't win on the road, and the Leafs haven't been able to finish off anything ever in the second round. So like here's a fun little stat. Austin Matthews has never scored a goal in the second, third, or fourth round. Zach Hyman has 18 of them. Some guy was like, because I was like, they should have kept Hyman. Oh, he's not as good as Matthews. I'm like, oh, he might not be as good as Matthews directly, but he's a better type. And Matthews, if you had Kadri and Hyman with Matthews instead of all the other soft top scorers they have, it would be better. But I will say, if I have to pick one, I'll pick the Jets. But sadly, I don't think either one's going to win.
I would just love to see the Leafs force a Game 7.
Well, it would be great.
And then
it'd be great. And then gas it.
And everyone on Yonge Street, just a river of tears. I was having a great time today reading Leaf fans and watching Leaf content on YouTube. The give up among the passion is incredible. Like you would think the series was over and the season was a week ago. Like they're memorializing and utilizing this team. Eulogizing?
Yeah. No, what did you say?
Eulogy.
What, is it a googly?
Yeah. Well, what's it called when you give a eulogy?
Yeah, eulogy. When you give a eulogy?
Like when you've given a eulogy for the Leafs, the season isn't over?
I don't know. Is it called eulogize? I don't know. Maybe.
Make fun of me and don't know the real answer?
I just say you're giving it a eulogy. I don't know if eulogize is an actual word. I'd have to look it up. I'm not sure I've ever heard that one. I gave the eulogy is usually what you say.
Eulogized?
I don't know if is that even a word?
I'm scared to ask ChatGPT. I think they're building a case that they know I'm an idiot over there.
Oh no, I guess it is the past tense. Eulogize, right? So I just never really. Usually it's like, hey, I gave the eulogy.
It's hard to say. If you're live on the radio, don't go after it.
Mm-hmm.
Let it
No, but I looked it up.
Oh yeah,
I looked it up at dictionary.com.
Fair.
Yeah. They know what they're doing.
That's where you go to. That's your go-to dictionary online.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Final question for you guys. Long weekend is here. Let's say hypothetically, you're having a little backyard get together. You're in charge of the music. What are the first 3 songs you're playing?
Go ahead, Wanya.
Oh, I'm going to go all Oilers playlist. So you go La Bamba for the present time. I'd go a little Pump It by the Black Eyed Peas, which takes me back to 06. And then, and I'll date myself here. Gregor, you said the Rat Hole earlier. Power 92 used to play Kiss Rock and Roll All Night, but it was an Oilers playoff version. Do you remember that?
I think I do.
And it was Rock and Roll All Night, but it was about the Oilers and Let's Go Oilers. Boy, those were good times in the late 90s, early O's playoffs. So those would be my 3 jams. All Oilers playlist.
Oh man, this is a great question because I got a lot of songs that a little technotronic. Because yeah, if you're having a party, you want to get people up, you want to get them moving. But I'm probably going to start out with House of Pain.
Technotronic.
Thick, eh? I'm definitely going to start out probably with a little House of Pain, Jump Around, right? Why not? Although that one's you're coming out pretty hot if I start that one. So actually I'm going to change my play order. I'm going to start with Footloose, Kenny Loggins, then probably go with House of Pain. And I think I got to have Enter Sandman. I just like the intro to Enter Sandman, right? Like I want to have like an intro when you come out. It's really going to get, you got everybody in the backyard. You got to have something that gets the attention right away. So yeah, might even be Enter Sandman, then Footloose, then House of Pain. Yeah, that's right.
Quick safety disclaimer. I'm playing House of Pain. I went to a house party once. And I was down in the basement and the DJ had a dance floor in the living room and they played Jump Around and everyone started jumping as you do during Jump Around. And like one of the main joists of the house cracked from this. Like the house was flexing because there were so many kids jumping up and down. And I'll never forget my buddy pinned a note to it that says no jump around on the beam. And that was it. So if you're going to have this at your imaginary barbecue.
Well, that's why I'm having it at the barbecue because it's outdoors.
Chaos.
I don't think the ground has a joint.
No. If you fell through the ground dancing to Jump Around, I would want to talk about who you're inviting to your barbecue.
That would be tough. Yeah. It'd like creating a pretty big wave there. So I like it. Whew. Be a lot of good songs you could play on a Positive Friday. I like it. Anybody having a house party this weekend? God. I like it. I like a good house party.
No jump.
I'm not going to lie. Anyone out there having a good house party this weekend? I'm not inviting myself because that's rude. I'm just wondering. Hopefully you have a good one. We have one in June that I know are going to, so pumped for it already.
Frying pan and shooters?
Oh, buddy, it's the best. Don't spill. Safety first. Right? You don't want that Jaeger spilt all over your carpet. I'll tell you right now. It's funny. The ladies, I remember when we were younger, and then when I got married, one of my buddies bought me a frying pan as a gift, like a wedding gift. Like, no, not high quality one, but I knew exactly what it was for. I'm always, he bought you a frying pan? I'm like, and she didn't really know. And I'm like, oh, I'll show you. And now in our neighborhood, when we have parties, like something like a few of the wives, like, no frying pans. But what happens is at midnight, the frying pan, and by then they're just like, well, now they're pot committed. So they're in.
That's one of the few life hacks that has stuck with me.
Oh, yeah.
There are things you'll see in the moment. You're like, that's pretty interesting. But the frying pan of shooters is truly an innovation.
It's the greatest. Honestly, like ours should innovate. They should have it. You walk around because if you spill it, it just stays in the frying pan. No big deal. Doesn't spill all over the place. Doesn't make a mess.
And if you're at the point of the house party, especially your own house party, where you're like, you know what I need? Everyone needs a Jaeger bomb.
100%.
You're probably ready for a bit of a spill check. You're ready for a frying pan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A fireball. Either one. You got to give people options.
True.
Right? Without options, we're bored. Let's go to Connor Halley. Sports 1440 update. He's got some options to tell you what's happening. Brought to you by Fountain Tire. Planning a summer road trip? Geez, almost as fun as a house party. Well, make your first stop at Fountain Tire. From tire checks, oil changes, alignments, and brake inspections, they do it all to ensure your vehicle's ready. Find your location at fountaintire.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Second round action, the PGA Championship. Jonathan Vegas atop the leaderboard at 8 under par. Siwoo Kim, Matthew Pavon, Matt Fitzpatrick all tied for a second spot at 6 under par. When it comes to the Canadians right now, Taylor Pench with -3, Corey Connors even, still on the course at +1 being the cut. Looks like Nick Taylor, Mackenzie Hughes, and Adam Hadwin will not be playing over the weekend. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, Leafs and Panthers going at it just over an hour. Florida can wrap this one up, currently leading 3-2. In the association, you got the Celtics and Knicks as Boston tries to stay alive. Tip off on that one, 6 o'clock. And in the majors, Toronto in action tonight, taking on the Tigers. That one gets going in 5 minutes' time. Right now, Reds lead the Guardians 5-3 in the bottom of the 7. Pirates, Phillies, and Orioles Nationals both delayed due to rain in the area. Playoff action in the PWHL tonight. It's game 4 between Ottawa and Montreal. The Charge can end this with a win. Winner of it will take on Minnesota in the league final. CEBL Stingers in action, taking on Winnipeg tonight. Tip off at 6:30. And in the WHL, Tigers and Chiefs meeting once again. Puck drop just after 8 o'clock. Tigers can wrap it up with a win as they currently lead 3-1. And in the NFL, Niners and Brock Purdy agreeing to a contract extension, 5 years, $265 million, 181 of which is guaranteed. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spectre of Rogers Sportsnet and Alan Mitchell, host of The Lowdown with Lowetide. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Hey, Alberta. The all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports
408
from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's
And your
promo
wallet.
code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Tasting just the right. You can order noodle at noodle.
See, Scott.
Delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order noodle at noodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order noodle.ca. Noodle.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Hold on to your hockey helmet. Edmonton on the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocks.yeg.com.
The My Choice sales event is back at Nissan. Get our best-selling Rogue, ready for adventures with plenty of room for cargo and crew. Right now, choose select 2025 Rogue models with $1,500 in Nissan bonus or accessory credit, or choose 3-year prepaid maintenance. The choice is yours with My Choice. Hurry in. These offers won't last long. Head to your local Nissan dealer and make your choice today. Available with leasing or financing through NCF. Conditions apply. See nissan.ca for details.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
If you're passionate about golf, you're in for a golfer's dream at the Quarry. Challenge and natural beauty come together across 27 holes every golfer should experience. Book now. Get geared up at the Pro Shop and start swinging at the Quarry. Don't forget the Granite Grill Restaurant, an unforgettable top-tier venue to host all your events. For rental details or to book your tee time, contact the Quarry today. Edmonton's most popular golf and event venue. Call 477-THE-Q and visit thequarryedmonton.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles. Culligan.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's Friday. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as we are having a lovely Friday. It's going to be a decent weekend, it looks like. It's nice. You got no Orders hockey. You can relax. You'll have a game 6 tonight in Florida, game 6 tomorrow in Dallas, and maybe maybe Game 7 Sunday. Oh, could you imagine? Game 7 in Toronto, and they lose. I kind of wouldn't mind seeing them win, but I can't see them beating Florida twice. Like, if they do, I will give them massive props, because that would be probably one of the most unexpected 2-game win streaks. And I know 2-game win streak doesn't seem like a lot, but that would be a big deal. So,
just to lure all the Leafs fans back into positivity land and club them overhead with misery again, that'd be so great. Yeah. Forcing Game 7 only to gas it, the best.
People like chaos. That is for sure. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And you know what? You'll have no chaos in your life. You don't want it if you win the Lotto Max $25 million. Get your tickets. Tonight's draw at PlayAlberta.ca. As we get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialist. They are hiring. If you want to work for a fantastic company who loves to promote from within, many of their senior guys worked their way up. They love promoting from within. They learn the company top to bottom. That's GS Construction. As Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, maybe like many, was rooting openly for the Winnipeg Jets, because that means you didn't have to fly to Dallas today, because the TV, and hey, I get it, TV pays a lot of money for it, and my understanding is that there is a part of the contract with ESPN was that they for sure have a Saturday game. And so that was one of the main reasons why there would have been a game in Dallas tomorrow night between the Oilers and the Stars, but now there's one in Dallas. It's just involving the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, I think the deal was there's going to be a Saturday night game no matter what, and I was hoping it would be the Jets. It seems a little tough on any team like Dallas to get one day off between the end of a series and the start of the next. You know, the Oilers fly all the way home. They figure they earn a little bit of rest, and then back on a plane and start the series. So, you know, I'm all for this thing ending before June 25th like it did last year, but geez, I would say the Oilers could probably earned a couple of days off, don't you think?
Yeah, probably. I would think so. So
play a lot of hockey here.
Yeah. No, hey. Wow, they've only played 11. What have they played? 11 games? Like, they'll be. I'm looking at it like, well, Carolina, I think, Carolina's only played 10. So they played. I don't know if they played any more than anybody else, right? They will by the time the series is over. Right, they'll have a little bit of a break. Like last year, the Oilers coming into the third round had already played. They played 12 games, so they'd come off that 7-gamer against Vancouver.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just saying, like every second night they've been going, and you know they didn't get a lot of break between LA and Vegas. And remember, this isn't regular season hockey here, where you're cruising through without a bruise. You know, this is pretty tough hockey. Everybody's blocking shots. There's tons. I mean, I was looking at Zach Hyman's stats today. You know, what did he had like he averaged 0.75 of a hit per game in the regular season, and he's averaging 7 hits a game in the postseason. You know, that's not the same hockey, right? It's a little bit different.
Oh, well, there's no question. Yeah, he's hitting everything that moves. It's kind of crazy to think about it, really, when you watch it. It's been very intense. So yeah, hey, the days off will definitely not be a bad thing for them. Yes. There's no question, right? But when I look at the Oilers and watching, you know, Winnipeg or Dallas, do you see one that's better suited than the other?
I mean, I think if I was the Oilers, I'd probably rather play Winnipeg. I feel like they are not as experienced. I feel like there's a couple holes in that lineup that, you know, that I think could be exploited. I like, you know, I wonder about a team that can't win on the road, Jason. And maybe that changes. But up to this point, they haven't won a road game. And that's a fatal flaw for me, right? Good playoff hockey teams walk into someone else's building and win a really important road game. And we've seen the Oilers do that almost every series here for the last 4 years, give or take. So if you had to ask me who I think the Oilers have a better time with, it would be Winnipeg. I'd have to say that. What about you?
I probably would lean towards that for sure, but I'd like to see Dallas. I don't know why. I think it'll be a better series.
Well, they're both going to be good. I mean, sure. Listen, Dallas is good. Dallas has the axe to grind that Winnipeg doesn't have. Dallas has been here 3 years in a row if they win this series. They've been in the Western Conference Final. They've lost 2 in a row. They lost to Edmonton last year. You know, there's some intangible there in Dallas that I would say to you the Oilers don't have. The Oilers didn't lose to Dallas. They didn't lose in the Western Conference Final last year. So I'm not telling you it's worth a lot, but it's something. It's an intangible that the Jets wouldn't have, and that would make Dallas just that much tougher, I think.
Yeah, they would be. I think Edmonton's tougher. Like, honestly, I think Edmonton matches up against both of them the way they're playing right now. I would take Edmonton against either team, to be honest. And, we'll see how they go. No surprise. I said at the start of the playoffs, Ekholm best case scenario was mid to late third round. That hasn't changed. Calvin Pickard's not going to be ready to start the first few games, but I don't think he was going to start anyway. Like, they're not going to change after Stuart Skinner goes back-to-back shutouts. We all knew Skinner was going to start game one. And, luckily for the Oilers, they don't need to rush Ekholm back the way they're playing. And Knobloch kind of mentioned that even. And so I would think, Spec, if the series is 3-1 or 2-1 for Edmonton or something like that, like, I think that just gives them even more time to rest guy coming off a groin injury.
Yeah. And every team in its season, I mean, almost every team, the Oilers didn't have any injuries last year, but generally speaking, you get a run of injuries in your season. And Edmonton had theirs right at the time when they were trying to win their division. Remember, they were pretty well poised. They were like 2 games back of Vegas, or 2 points back of Vegas, and looking good. And then all the injuries started coming. And, they just were never armed. They couldn't win that. They ended up in third place, and that, the rest was history. My point is, they're through their injuries now, and everybody's back. Evander Kane's back. He's playing great. Everyone's back except for Ekholm, and they've done a great job surviving that. You don't want to be the team that gets that injury run in the middle of the second round, because that means you usually don't get out of that round. So, those injuries they had in March and April, they're out of the way. Hyman looks great. McDavid was hurt, right? Remember, Draisaitl was out and McDavid. All these guys look good now, and I'm picking them no matter who they play next round. I've seldom seen this team play a better run of hockey than they're playing right now.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty good. What about, you look at Toronto and Florida, Spec, and I just got to get your thoughts on, like, you have any faith that the Maple Leafs can win a game?
Not until they show me they can win a game. I'm not here hoping they lose. In fact, I kind of hope they win a little bit. The fan in me, I feel for Leafs Nation. Those poor people there's millions of them, and they never get a winning team. But it's your guys got to show up here. And I listened to Lowetide today, and I'm going to disagree with him. He talked about how be careful what you do with Marner, because they've got a great goal share when they're on the ice, and they've got a great shot share and all of this stuff. And I thought to myself, I think sometimes in digging for statistics, we leave the important ones, we go past them looking for more. At this time of year, when my name is Mitch Marner or Austin Matthews, the important statistics start with a G and an A and a P, right? I don't give a rat's what about shot share and goal share when I can't get my team out of the second round in 9 years, right? Don't tell me about Corsi or whatever. I get it. People love that stuff. But those guys, pucks have to go in the net by your best guys or you lose. And that's what's happened for 9 years in Toronto. And until those guys turn it around, Jay, how could you predict that it would change, right? How could you say, I predict Matthews is going to start performing in the clutch? Hasn't done it yet. Why on earth would evidence do we have that it would start tomorrow night or tonight?
Yeah. Oh, hey, buddy, I don't disagree with you, right? So it is hard. Like it's hard to think that they're going to show up, right? Like it's just, I hope they do, but it's hard to think that they will. I just can't see it.
I turned on the TV to see if the Leafs were started. I thought they might be on. They're not on yet. And Sportsnet's showing one of those games in a half an hour. You know how they do? And they've got the Oilers game in Vegas, the nothing game. So some poor editor had to eke a half hour out of this game before he got to the only exciting part at the very end. There's like a half hour of Skinner making saves and Hill making saves. Oh, the Oilers are on the power play. Yeah, I'm not watching this, man. I know what happens. Oh boy.
Yeah, no, it's tough. When I look at that Toronto team and I compare them to Edmonton, and I don't see the same oomph in their team. right? I just don't see the same drive from their top guys.
No, you want I think when you say oomph, and I'm with you on this, there's an energy. There should be an energy. Like when you come home, for that game in game 5, okay, the series is tied. It's 2-2. Someone's going to grab a hold of this series, right? This is the big game in the series, game 5. We got it in our rink, man. We're at home. We got 2 out of 3. We're going to take this thing for Florida. We're going to be the team that has more jump. We're going to be more physical. We're going to skate harder. We're going to go to all the hockey things. We're going to take control and be proactive and play on our toes. And they come out and they're playing on their heels and they're not touching anybody and there's no energy. And Florida doesn't beat them. They grape stomp them, man. And that's just a horrible sign for me. Like, I'm not saying you have to win the game. You might lose the game. But you gotta bring the energy, Jason, don't you? You gotta come out of your room with passion and show me that I really want this game and I ain't getting denied tonight. And this is the night we're gonna play. They looked like it was January, man. That's the most concerning thing for me.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's been you got to change something, right? They've tried everything. Coaches, GMs, goaltenders, defense, forwards, they've changed everything. That's the only thing they haven't changed. And it's still not good enough. Like at some point, they got to be better. Like Matthews doesn't have a second round goal.
In his career?
No, in his career.
Yeah, in his career. Yeah. So, and I've said this on our show before. We're so spoiled in Edmonton. Like, talk about the conversation we never have about Draisaitl or McDavid, right? Like, we have never had these guys have been in the league for 10 years, and we've never, ever had a conversation, even one day. We've talked about, McDavid's in a slump. He hadn't scored in 4 games or something like that. Sure, everyone has that. We've never had a conversation about one of those 2 guys not bringing it when it's important. We've never even I'll bet you've never had a text, Jason, where some guy said, man, those guys choke in the big moment, because they never do. They always bring it, So we're blessed here, and it's got to make you crazy out there. If you're a Leafs fan and you got a 16 jersey or a 34 jersey, it's got to make you crazy, man.
Oh, God, yeah.
I feel for the fans. I don't feel for the team because they're too much. What's the old saying? To whom much is given, much is expected. Yeah. But I do feel for the fans. I feel for all the people out there that love their team, just like people here love their team. They've been underserved in Toronto, Jason. I would say they've been underserved.
Yeah, I would totally agree. Spec, have yourself an awesome weekend off, and we'll find out maybe as early as Monday, or Monday we'll be talking Game 7, Dallas and Winnipeg. We shall see.
Oh, sounds good, Jake.
That's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. So a lot of people have texted in all day wondering, well, what happens when this next series start? Obviously depends when this one ends, but if it ends on Saturday and Dallas wins tomorrow, I think there's a very good chance the next round will start Tuesday, because there's a Katy Perry concert Wednesday in Dallas. Would you force them to turn around and play Monday to then take 2 days off? You probably just go Tuesday, Thursday in Dallas. Now, if Winnipeg wins, then there's a Game 7 on Monday. And then that would mean you're either going to play Wednesday in Winnipeg or Thursday in Winnipeg if the Jets win. So that's kind of how it looks.
See, I heard the Katy Perry concerts aren't selling very well. Maybe she'd be happy to shut down her Dallas concert.
Is it really not selling?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So when you say, hey, Katie, do you want to take one less?
Why? What did she do something to annoy people?
No, I just think that she isn't really arena tour ready at this point.
Oh, I did not know that.
Been lots of clips going around of very poor choreography, that sort of thing.
Oh, she went to space too.
That didn't help.
That people didn't like that for some reason.
People didn't like it.
Well, probably some of the comments afterwards. Oh, this is lots for women. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what? Like, even women were like, what do you mean? Like, you did nothing. You didn't work for this.
No.
Like, give me a break. It's like somebody getting to go out for one of those skates as a, you're a celebrity skater who plays in one of those pro-am games. Well, now I'm a professional. Like, calling Katy Perry an astronaut is akin to calling one of those guys a professional athlete. Like, give me a break. So, but I didn't know that, Collins. Who knew? Who knew that going to space would be like, people are like, I'm out.
We're living in the future, aren't we? Going to space is ruining a Katy Perry tour in 2025.
I'm going to waste of money. Just never mind. own personal opinion on it.
I think the reason why they put those folks, that crew of space non-astronauts in space, is like hopefully to inspire people to say, wow, look,
Inspire as to what?
Well, when originally only governments could afford to go to space, and now it's crossed the threshold of rich people can afford to go to space.
Yeah, but what do? They were there for 10 minutes. What do they do?
Hopefully en route to, it's cheap enough that normal people can
I
go
don't
to
know.
space.
Maybe take some of your money and help the fellow people that are super poor and don't have anything. Like
Going to space, though, develops lots of technologies that will help us in the long run.
You think?
The reason microcomputers exist is because they had to put them onto a spaceship. And prior to that point, computers weren't light.
Oh, the microcomputer. Okay.
But
so
that
you're saying
is an offshoot of trying to go to space.
But do you
right?
think we would have figured out microcomputers without going to space?
I don't necessarily think that weight was an issue when you, like, a computer took up half of a floor of a building. They weren't really worried about weight. It wasn't until you had to put it into space that became a variable they were trying to fix.
Right. But do you think they would have fixed that maybe just later? They would have figured out, hey, like, we don't need this thing to be as big as this space that we're in right now.
Maybe, or
Right.
but sometimes that's like the impetus for change, right?
Yeah.
Like if you were to actually,
So what do you think they would have learned this time that's going to help us in the future?
well, I think as you put more and more things in space, the cost comes down, right? Like private satellites and private space launches, being able to launch a rocket and have it land back on the same point from which it took off, that brings a factor of 10 down the cost of going into space. It'd be like if you drove to Calgary all the time and left your car there. That's what space travel used to be. You'd use a rocket once. So like they're on the threshold now of the cost of going to space is going way down to the point that Katy Perry can actually go to space.
I don't know if we're ever going to.
Remember when Lance Bass was going to go to space from NSYNC?
No.
Lance Bass trained to go to the International Space Station for years.
Hmm.
It was like $25 million to send Lance Bass to space. Now you can go in an afternoon. That is a milestone.
I guess so.
They should have sent Nicole Scherzinger from the Pussycat Dolls. Then people would have been excited. People love that lady. Katy Perry just wasn't the right inspirational person.
All right.
Who would you want to send to space? I'd send Mitch Marner. Maybe he doesn't have to come back.
We'll take a quick break. We'll return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing, taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's two things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Oodle Noodle origins. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the new world. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
It's the final weekend of the Bricks tent sale, and you can now save up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and store. With new specials every day and a bonus gift with furniture purchases over $999, the tent sale final weekend won't last long. Save up to 50% off select mattresses, up to 25% off of bedroom and dining furniture, and save $1,700 on sofas and sectionals. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
The month of May brings machines, mud, and for us, many an opportunity. We're GS Construction, and we love the warmer weather because it means we can get to work. But to keep things moving, we need the right people on our team. You built your skills. You know your work matters. Now's the time to bring that experience to a crew that gets it. We're hiring experienced top men and pipe layers. So if you're ready to dig in and be part of a team that has your back, apply now at gsconstruction.ca for this great opportunity.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Spring has arrived at Cross Mitsubishi, and the incredible automotive deals are in full bloom. Purchase a 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander at 0% for up to 84 months, starting as low as $33,148, or lease at 0.99% over 36 months for just $99 weekly. Trade in and save $2,000. And don't forget the exceptional 10-year, 160,000-kilometer warranty. See Cross Mitsubishi in-store for details. 9605 34th Ave and at crossmitsubishi.ca.
Spring cleanup is a breeze with the Lawnmower Hospital and Echo Pro Attachment Series. With one power head and 16 different attachments, the Echo PAS powers through almost any spring cleanup job. And speaking of power, Echo now has a battery-powered power head that uses the same attachments as gas. Find out how commercial landscapers can save 20% for 24 months with the Landscaper Fleet Discount Program. See lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Use promo code Gregor and get 20% off your order all day, every day. That's promo code Gregor before entering your order at papajohns.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. How are you? Jason Gregor. Connor Halley. Jeez, those donuts smell unreal. It's a great smell to have in the studio here today. Love it. Thanks to Rob for bringing those in. Thank you very much. Positive Friday continues on, and it is a night where we are waiting patiently to see what happens tonight in Florida as the Leafs and the Panthers. That puck will drop around 6:15-ish our time tonight, and then we got game 6 tomorrow, Winnipeg and Dallas, and then maybe we could have back-to-back game 7 Sunday, Monday in the NHL. Wouldn't that be nice? 2 series that went 5s, and then hey, maybe if you had to ask me to pick, I'd probably pick both go 6 though, but you never know. You never know. Get to Oil Report, brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. Stop in. The May Day event is going on right now. XC90s, XC60s, XC40s. Great leasing pricing from 0.49% up to 1.49. You can save anywhere from $2,000 up to $5,000 on the 40, the 60, or the 90. VolvoCarsEdmonton.com is Alan Mitchell, host of The Lowdown, joins us. LT. So, LT, your strategy is Toronto should just keep their star 4 players next year.
I think that the problem isn't with the star four players. And if you look at the numbers, even in this postseason, at each of them, what they're outscoring at 5-on-5, the Leafs' problems aren't when Austin Matthews or Nylander or Marner are on the ice. They're outscoring the opposition, substantially.
Well, no, they're not. It's only 10-9. The first line and the second line have outscored them 10-9 by 1 goal.
If you let's just look at Austin Matthews at 5-on-5 for the playoffs, for the entire playoffs, unless I misread it earlier today. He's 10-5 goals, 67% goal share. They're 14-18 goals against, so 44% with him off the ice, 67% with him on the ice at 5-on-5. Austin Matthews isn't the problem. The 67% is good. The 44% is not good.
Okay, now what about the last 2 games when the series was 2-1?
Well, we're talking a small sample size. If you look at the last game, I hate defending Toronto. When you look at the last 2 games, there were 2 goals. One hit a defenseman's stick, and everybody was mocking the goalie, but he couldn't stop the puck because it went over his shoulder. He was going down to stop the puck, and it went sideways. And then there was another one where it hit somebody in front and went right to the Florida player and just banged it in that. That's just bad luck. I mean, bad luck does happen. We know those things occur. But if you look at the 10,000 feet view, which is, shots for and against, what's happening on the ice, goals for and against, the Toronto Maple Leafs are up against a really good team in the Florida Panthers. But through the playoffs, the best players they have, and I know Marner's going somewhere else, and that's fine. And I know people will forever think that Matthews and Marner and Nylander weren't any good together, but I think that the problem that the Leafs are having and have had for some time is that the support isn't necessarily as good as they need it to be. And then on top of that, as you mentioned, the last 2 games, I think there's been some luck, involved, and that you have to overcome it. I get it. I understand it. But it's 3-2 in this series. It's not 4-1 or 3-0. They're in this series. They collapsed. They had a terrible game, and at the worst possible time in front of their home crowd. But some of that was luck.
Well, I guess a little bit of luck, but you know what? All I know is Matthews has never scored a second-round goal in his career, Al, ever. So, that is when you're the best scorer on your team, you've never scored a goal in the second round. That's still your job. Even if your line's outscoring him, still at some point you got to score the goal. And I looked at their last 2 games. I just didn't like it all. And to me, that's in a short, like we say, it's a small sample, but that's what every series is. It's a small sample. And if you have 1 or 2 bad games, usually that's what's cost you the series.
Totally. And that's the thing. That's why people hate Corsi and Fenwick, is because it doesn't help them, or at least it doesn't explain the game when things go awry, when the defenseman, tips the puck and it goes over the guy's shoulder. But those are the idea of, like, at 10,000 feet, the Leafs are in games. The single events that are occurring, Florida's winning those. And the question is, how much do you attach to skill? How much of that do you attach to skill, and how much do you attach to luck? And that's when people disagree on events. And I always think that there's a sense that somehow the coaching staff can impact, or the players on the ice can impact. But if you look at the goal that went over the shoulder of the goaltender, it was simply, everybody was in the right spot, but it hits the defenseman, it hits his stick, and it goes shoulder. There's nothing you could, like, you can get mad at it and you can yell at people, but it doesn't help you. It's simply a matter of luck. And what you hope, if you're the Toronto coaching staff, is that luck turns for Game 6.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I can just say it's luck, but we'll agree to disagree that it's just luck. It can't be just luck when it's 9 years. I guess that's my concern.
Well, it hasn't been 9 years with a team this good. I think the Leafs I picked them to win this series. I think they're a better team this year. I think they're a tougher team this year. I don't know for sure, but I feel like when I watch them, they're blocking more shots and playing a more desperate game up and down the lineup. But you're right. It's been a long time for the Matthews group. But, if you want to extend that, Matthews hasn't won, anything in his period of time. But, if you extend that to the Oilers, McDavid's been here since 2015. I think he played for a lot of teams that were subpar, even the ones that made the playoffs, like the 2017 team. They had high end players, and then they had a lot of players that they had on the ice that weren't terrific, and maybe were a little bit overwhelmed. I think this edition of the Oilers team is probably I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's the best team McDavid's played on.
Yeah, it's hard. Like last year, they went to the Cup final. Like that's a pretty good team too. So just to Game 7, and you know what? Hey, they didn't get one shot. They had some good chances, especially in the third period, and couldn't bury it. But they definitely, you got some other depth guys scoring more this year for sure. Their top guys aren't scoring as much, but that's fine. And I can see that argument for sure. I think it's different. I don't know if they're better. They're just a little bit different, right? And this year, obviously, like I just think a healthy Kane makes a difference for sure. I think Frederick, like Brown played right from the get-go. Everything Chris Knobloch, every decision he's made has been golden, right? Like every goalie change, every defense, every in-game line change seems to have worked for him. It's been pretty impressive.
It is. And last year, I have this argument with people at least once a week where they say, Stuart Skinner was just in net. He didn't help the Oilers win. In the Game 7 that we just talked about of the Stanley Cup final, he let in 2 goals. Yeah. So I will take that, Jason, every damn day. If they get to Game 7 again and Stuart Skinner lets in 2 goals, I expect the Oilers to win that game. And I'll never accept that Skinner wasn't good enough in Game 7. He was good enough in Game 7. Oilers didn't get it done. That's what happened.
Yeah. No, and it's hard sometimes, but it's hard. You don't win many games when you only score 1 goal in the NHL, right? Like that's just how it goes. You look at Dallas, Winnipeg. If you had to pick today and you're like, Al, you get one team to play. Is there a noticeable one you'd rather play, or are they both good?
Well, they're both really good. I worry. They beat Dallas last year, and I think if I had to, I would prefer Dallas. But the reason I would prefer Dallas is because of Hellebuyck, but he hasn't played well. The idea that Hellebuyck can turn it on and off seems like unreasonable, and he hasn't been strong. This is 2 playoffs in a year, in the 2 playoffs in a row that he hasn't been regular season Hellebuyck. And maybe that's it. Maybe you want to play Winnipeg because he's in his own head, and that does happen. Goaltending's a tough position, and there is momentum and belief and confidence. But if you ask me today, I'd rather see the Oilers play Dallas. I think they know how to beat them. They did a year ago, and I understand that Dallas is a terrific team and that Rantanen makes a difference.
Oh God, yeah, Rantanen makes a big difference. I'd like to see that matchup for sure. Al, lastly, on the Oiler front, the rest. Chris Knobloch had an interesting comment today about the rest with his team. For whatever reason, they haven't done great coming out of extended breaks, and now it looks like it's going to be Tuesday at the earliest. The next round would start, and maybe extend all the way to Thursday for Game 1, depending on if this goes 7 games or not. Where do you come out on rest? Is there a case of too much?
I think here's what I think. I think ordinarily I'd say, the Thursday's too late, but they're halfway through, and they have had they've had 2. I'm not saying they're the toughest series that have ever been played, but they played a lot of hockey, and they played deep into last year. So I think that they learned a lot a year ago about how to get to Game 7 of the final. And I think that this team, because they're a more veteran team, I think they'll be able to use that time to rest and replenish. So I think even Thursday, I think it would be okay. And now if it starts Saturday, I think that's too long. But I think that Tuesday or Thursday should be okay.
Okay. Al, have yourself a wonderful weekend. You don't even know what to do with yourself with no Oilers playoff. Like, what are you going to do? Or mow the lawn?
Well, I do have to mow the lawn, but I will tell you that what I'm going to do tonight, I've done this for many years. I've got a nice big bottle of Crown Royal over here. I've got some ginger ale. And when the Leafs get eliminated later tonight, I will pour one out for my dad and everybody who's mad that they traded Frank Mahovlich in 1968. And that's a long time tradition, and I will enjoy doing it. And I'm sorry to all the Leafs fans who are listening, but that's the way it rolls in my house.
All right. Al, have yourself a great time.
All right. You guys have a great weekend.
There you go. That's Al Mitchell, a.k.a. Lowetide. Quick break. We'll come back with Wanye's World and more on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the midweek showdown on Wednesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
Legend has foretold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slaya smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Get moving with Volvo and save big for summer during the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
The locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like jobs for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready.
Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
We freaking killed it, Nuge.
That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah, well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The Finning sales event is May 22nd from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. at Finning. Kick off the weekend with a huge sale where you can demo all the latest cat equipment. Plus, get 0% financing and a free cat cooler with equipment purchase. Test your skills with a mini operator challenge for prizes and grab some food. Big day, big savings, big machines. Don't miss the Finning sales event, May 22nd, 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. at Finning in Edmonton, 10910 170th Street.
All right, give me something big.
The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on.
Bigger.
Get a big truck and an even bigger deal.
Love it. Now the details.
Right now, lease a 2025 F-150 STX with the black appearance package from $220 bi-weekly at 0% APR for 24 months with $43.75 down. That's like $110 weekly.
Now bring it home.
Plus, there's a $750 bonus for eligible Ford owners. Hurry into your Alberta Ford store or visit Ford.ca today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by eWell. Get your power play amped up with eWell, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. eWell.ca is your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Wrap up a busy show. Let's get to Wanye's World, brought to you by eWell, your partner in power since 1975. For all your electrical gear, think EWEL.ca. Wanye, what's going on in your world?
Well, for heaven's sakes, it was announced today that Sam Gagner, Oilers legend, I might add, retired. And then what seemed like the same sentence, they said he's joined the Ottawa Senators as the director of player development. I thought the whole plan, Sam Gagner was coming back to Edmonton to end his career in Oiler to then transition to a front of office role within the organization. Is that not the case? Clearly, it is not the case. The Ottawa Senators value Sam Gagner more than the Oilers do in retirement and to begin his career in a front office role. Why wouldn't we keep Sam Gagner around?
Well, it's a good question, but I think maybe there wasn't the role for him right now. They have somebody in that role. And I think like sometimes, you can go away and then you come back and you can work for the organization. Sam Gagner, I don't know, like maybe family lifestyle. They're home in Ontario, right? He's there all summer. So maybe that was part of it, right? Didn't want to be moving all the time. Like that could be a little bit of it. So I'd have to ask Sam when we have him on next week, but
have him on next week?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Why do you want to wait until Friday?
I really like Sam Gagner.
Oh, I don't see why you wouldn't.
I am of the mind, and perhaps I'm wrong, that one day he has a bright future as an executive in the NHL. I just wonder, as an organization, if we're trying to think 10 years down the road at any point, or if that's just beyond the scope of strategic planning at the OEG. Like, you want to try to develop from within the organization, right?
I think that's a totally valid point.
Look how great the Yzer plan went. Look how great it went for Rob Blake. Doesn't that show
But here's the thing. The Yzer plan, he got experience in Tampa Bay and then came back to Detroit, right? So maybe that's their plan. He'll train there and then he'll come back. We'll see. But
I also wonder if the Yzer plan is working in Detroit, given how things are going. Perhaps that isn't the best thing to model yourself after. Do you think former players make good executives?
Some, not all. Right? Like some guys do, but you talk about the Yzer plan, like what's Detroit done with him in charge?
This is the point.
Right?
Rob Blake, too. There was an argument that maybe he was given more of a leash as an executive because he did so much as a player. If I was looking for one former Oiler player from that era to stick around the organization, I just think Sam Gagner has done so much for this team and for this city. It would have been cool to see him ascend. Maybe we still will. Ask him. I'm sure he can't tell you legally he wants to be an Oiler again one day, but I do wish him all the best.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I do. Sam's a really smart guy. I think it was something that he would get into. He's a really good communicator. People love talking to him. So there's certain guys that I think want to get into management, and I think that's something he's always wanted to do in our conversations with him. So I tweeted about it. Yeah, I think, in a decade or maybe not a decade, but down the road, I won't be surprised if Sam Gagner is a GM. I think Andrew Cogliano is another guy who's going to be a GM. Like almost bet my house on it.
Really?
Oh yeah. No, he's a really smart guy, and that's what he wants to do. Right? He's been kind of planning for it for a while.
Why aren't the Oilers at the front of the line to get Oiler players that want to be in management to stick around?
Why? Because he got an opportunity somewhere else to start, and then they go from there. So we'll see. We got to go. Got to get to break. Everybody have a great weekend. Please don't drink and drive. Let's get to Sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month continues now at your Alberta GMC dealers. $5,000 cash purchase credit on a 2025 Sierra HD model. Learn more at gmccanada.ca. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Day 2 at the PGA Championship. Jonathan Vegas atop the leaderboard at 8 under par. Sue Kim and Matthew Pavone, as well as Matt Fitzpatrick, all tied at 6 under par for second spot. Canadians Taylor Pendrith and Corey Connors both going to be playing over the weekend. Nick Taylor, Mackenzie Hughes, and Adam Hadwin will not, as for not making the cut, which is set at +1. In the NHL tonight, Maple Leafs looking to stay alive as they're in Florida taking on the Panthers. Puck drop in about 10 minutes time. Panthers leading 3-2. Also at 6 o'clock, you got the Knicks and Celtics meeting in New York. Knicks lead that series 3-2 as well. In the majors, Jays right now trail the Tigers 1-0 in the bottom of the third. Also got the Nationals leading the Orioles 1-0 heading into the third. Later tonight, Diamondbacks, Rockies, Mariners in San Diego. The Dodgers will host the Angels, and the Athletics up against the San Francisco Giants. PWHL, Charge lead the Montreal Victory 1-0 after 20 minutes. They also lead that series 2-1. With a win, they'd advance to the league final to take on Minnesota. In the CBL, you got Edmonton Stingers taking on the Winnipeg Sea Bears. That gets going in about 40 minutes time. And in the dub, Tigers Chiefs meeting tonight. Puck drop 8 o'clock. The Tigers can wrap it up with a win, leading 3-1. One news and note from the NFL as 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy agreeing to a new contract extension with the team, 5 years, $265 million. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, it's Fox Sports Radio all night. We've got live local coverage resuming tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. with the Saturday Sports Setup, followed by Paul Sir and the Basketball Show. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen.